Yeah, I forgot to make a thing for Twitter. Whoops. But
yeah, I've got a build where I can do it.
Yeah.
Like, the actual act of doing it is not the problem, but it's just them getting killed beforehand.
Gotcha. Okay. That's what I need right there. And then I go link below. And then I put the picture, right? Put the thumbnail picture.
Yep.
And then I tweet that. And then I realized that I didn't put the link, so I hit the reply and I go link here. Link. Tweet. There, I've done it. I've done the Twitter thing.
Very good.
I'm a good twit boy. That's me. Mr. Twit.
Yep. Mr. Twitter.
That's right.
John Twitter.
John Twitter, yes. Everyone
John.
knows. John Twitter.
Yep.
A lovely man. I got nothing more to say about him, really. I mean,
yeah, like there's not much else you can say.
Yeah, self-explanatory, really.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm already in the watch together, so.
Yeah, no worries. Are you?
Oh, I gotta hit join the room. Oops.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hard to join the room when I'm slaying heretics.
It's
in heresy mode.
Absolutely. You continue. Well, hello out there, and welcome back to Table Talk, Discussion, and Discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, aka Right on 95. And that one's over there. And, yeah. Hey, Lux, don't hate the game, hate the players. No, wait, don't hate the players, hate humanity. Yes, exactly. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about more 4E.
Okay.
Really more so looking at other people talk about 4E and attempt to see if they make anything compelling in terms of any points. We shall see how that goes.
Probably not very well.
It's been stellar so far. I don't know what you mean. Yeah. But before we do that, how are you doing, sir?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Good. That's good.
I'm finally starting to beat back my sinus infection that I've had for the last, 5 months.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
Because, you remember how I got it during my vacation?
Yeah.
Well, I would use, Sudafed PE and, sinus shit.
Mm-hmm.
And what would happen is... Trevor! I would beat it back. I would lose the mucus and stuff. And then after a little while, maybe a week or two, I would have... essentially, the only way I can describe it is I would have to do a little snort to be able to breathe through my nose. You know how that is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I absolutely know. Yes.
And because of that, there was just some sort of seed in my sinuses that I just couldn't get rid of.
Yeah.
And so I tried for months, and then it would come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally went to the doctor and it's like, hey, explain the situation, and they gave me some antibiotics. So I'm on antibiotics right now.
Good.
I've got about, I think, a day or two more to take. To take my full amount of them,
mm-hmm.
and then I'll be done with them.
Cool. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to say that I have been world building
Nice.
for for my D&D group, and
nice.
I'm gonna start running something hopefully soonish.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been I got a nice like kick in the pants in a way that I needed, right? Just that inspiration, because there's times where you just go,
oh, absolutely.
And then so I've spent the last I want to say 4 or 5 days just on and off, doing stuff, and finally got all the history and such that I wanted to be relevant ready.
Oh, damn it. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
You're good. I got all the relevant history that I wanted done, and I have my gods set and how they they guided mortals for a while, and then the evil ones that came had a little bit of a birthing happen for my world, and now it's got a big old blight on it that's pretty bad.
Cool. So like a Kuatoa style birthing, or what?
Like
or is it the birth of a god? Or?
Basically think very much Slaneshi. In that kind of way. They
sexy, yes.
yeah, they absolutely wanted to be born, right? And over time we're influencing mortals and such, and it's good stuff. I like it. It's very rudimentary, I think, but
and it was in this is a D&D world?
Yes.
Nice.
So now I have them, and I have that being like part of the reason why the gods aren't around anymore, like on the material plane. They're needed to seal them away on their own planes around the plane that they made to seal them, and it's not perfect, but it's something, right?
Yeah.
And so they still have their influence and all that shit, and the gods are less attentive because they have to be. It's good stuff, I think.
Nice.
So I'm excited to do that, and it's just been really nice to write that down.
To do some world building.
Yeah. And like I'm in the middle of creating cities and stuff.
Fun.
And I'm at the point of like naming them. I have a map that's that I used 3.5's SRD site actually.
Oh yeah.
I used that to generate a random one until I got one that I really, really liked. So now I have that as the world, which is nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been going great, and I've been having a blast, and I'm glad to say that.
Fuck. This is hard.
I bet.
Yeah.
4E is this new? No, wait. I think I like this one. Thinking emoji.
It's D&D 1.
It's well, you've renamed yourself.
Or 1 D&D, sorry.
That's right. Yeah.
Ouch.
You've renamed yourself. You're now the Errant Dragon. I like that. Used to be Indigo. Timothy Martin says hello, bros. Hello. Greetings, everyone. Says Errant Dragon. Hello. I'm looking into actually trying to DM 2nd edition next year. Ooh, there you go.
Fun.
Yeah, 2nd edition's cool.
Yeah.
I personally don't like THAC0, but it's not like it's, a problem.
Yeah.
It's just something that I don't want to deal with, right? 4E Defense Club, hell yeah, that's right. We're on that side.
Yes, we know that 4E is not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Or nowhere near as bad as what people say.
No, exactly. I haven't been doing much world building, but I'm trying to get more familiar with Galorian, the standard Pathfinder setting. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Nice.
I'll be part of the 4E shield wall. I volunteer. That's right. I'm glad to have it. We need that shield wall, because fucking this meme needs to have, something against it.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. When 1 D&D succeeds, we'll be able to be like,
that's true. Yes, I know. I'm so excited for when 1 D&D actually comes out and people like it. because it is very much 4E.
Yeah, it's just 4E.
At least from the playtest material.
To say it.
Oh yeah. Oh, because if they do, like, people will not go for it.
Yeah.
Because they know. Because the meme.
Oh, this is bad.
Among other things, I'm trying to find out if anything like the Red Wizards of Thay exists there, because I recently became interested in using them as villains. I think there was something that something in there that was like a slavery kind of society, but I don't remember what it's called. It's been a long time since I looked into Golarion, I'll be honest.
Well, I know that I think in like the main major cities, slavery does exist, because I remember Brogan talking about an adventure where. Yeah,
where you could abolish it. Yeah.
Yeah, you could go in and you could abolish it. And then,
which is cool.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, well, let's not get into that.
Yes, that's already been covered.
Well, no,
by other people.
Oh my god.
I think we talked about it at one point, maybe.
I go to pop my fingers for 1 fucking second and there's a sniper and he shoots me. Right after I use a fucking Medicaid, too.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think Thaco is that hard to use once you're used to it. Oh, absolutely. That's the thing.
It's just like anything else. Like once you learn it.
Yeah. I don't want to take the time personally.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't play enough 2E or anything under 3, So because like even though it's fun, don't get me wrong, I don't care to learn it, which is like it's not the end of the world. You can have somebody else know it and calculate it for you, really. But it's just not a system that I play a lot, so I don't find any use for it to be in my brain, right?
Yeah.
Red Wizards are wizard supremacists. They are great villains. Oh yeah. Yeah, the Red Wizards of Thay are very cool. They're bad guys. Oh, absolutely horrible guys. So very like good villain.
Magical Nazis.
Yes,
basically.
Very much so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what's funny? What's really, really funny about that is that was the plot of the original D&D movie. Where wizards were like... Yeah.
I've forgotten so much about that thing.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that movie other than blue lipstick and Nazi wizards.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
We should have a watch of that.
Oh god, I don't want to be a part of that shit.
That's fine. No, that's fine. You don't have to be. I'll rope Aiden into that maybe.
Yeah. I know I forgot who did it. I think it might have been Spoonie who did it. He did a review of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the main like evil henchman, for some reason, he's a guy and he wore blue lipstick for some fucking reason. Yeah, it's like sky blue lipstick.
Sure. Why not? He's evil.
Yeah.
I guess. Right.
Yeah.
The original D&D movie, great story plot, really badly implemented. Oh, yeah. I mean, fair enough. Everything can have a good, like, idea. It's just the execution, right?
Yes.
Red Wizards sound like a cult. Yeah, basically. It had potential as a plot, but they botched the execution. Yes, exactly. There you go. Anyway, let's start talking about 4E. So,
yes,
this first video I found is from it's Captain Courageous, but it's spelled Capt Courageous. It's I know what it's supposed to say, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
somebody else got the name.
That's right. So this is Retro RPG Review Part 4, 4th Edition, Dungeons and Dragons. Now, this comes from a series of videos, apparently, that are about the older editions and reviewing them. And I watched, like, a minute, maybe, of this, and I immediately was like, okay. So, we'll see what the good old captain has to say.
Yeah.
Here we go.
God, we're so fucked.
I feel like this is music from what's that old point and click RPG that's like fantasy but fuck. King's something?
Oh, King's Quest?
King's Quest, yes. That's the one. I feel like this is music from King's Quest, though I'm unsure.
Sounds like it could be, that's for sure.
Yeah. It sounds very generic fantasy, at least.
Yes, exactly. That's why.
Yeah.
Not to be mean to King's Quest or anything.
No.
Know anything
Absolutely
about
not.
it.
Yeah. If you ever watch the D&D deleted scenes of that movie, every deleted scene was an unfinished scene that had key plot points, I assume. The release movie was unfinished. Oh, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
That's hilarious.
You think they gave a shit? They wanted to cash in on that D&D thing.
Yeah.
Just like they're doing right now. But hopefully this one will be finished.
Yeah, and it seems like they've actually... It seems like they've actually gotten the... like, what D&D is, because it's apparently a story about a ragtag group of misfits going on an adventure. So, I mean, that's...
Okay, that's some potential.
That's at least what D&D is.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. It is what the standard D&D plot is.
That's fine. Honestly, it just needs to be okay.
Yeah.
You know? Like, in this day and age...
if it's okay, that's amazing.
Exactly. My standards are very low.
Oh, you're a fucking god!
It would have still been somewhat watchable if the villain didn't have that overdone voice. Oh, for the original one? Dunno it, so we'll see. Anyway. Oh, that's cool.
The Beatles?
Hello, YouTube gamers.
Is that the
Welcome
Beatles?
back to...
Yeah, it is.
I feel the guy looking at the camera.
Yeah.
Looks like a beetle.
I think this is a Photoshop of the Beatles, though. I'm not.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I
because
now
everything
must
is
do
in the
research.
foreground.
I'm very confused. The Beatles D&D?
Yeah,
picture?
right. It's probably photoshopped because everything.
I found it.
Everything. Oh.
I mean, I found the picture. I don't know. Hold on. It's a Pinterest picture. Oh, here we go. Also, another Pinterest picture from iFunny. Oh, good.
Oh, the thing is, weren't the Beatles the 60s and D&D came out in the late 70s, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought so, right? So
yeah, so probably not.
Probably not. I was just very confused.
Yeah, that's weird. Anyway, we're only 21 seconds in.
Yeah.
By the way, are we getting Aiden tonight or no?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, yeah, he's still applying. Right,
Yeah.
My 4-part retro review of all the editions of Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh, it's very
In
quiet.
part 4, I'm going to talk about the infamous 4th edition of the game. And let me start out with prefacing my statements with a little bit of a warning. If you're a big fan of 4th edition, you may not like what I have to say here, but I promise that my points will be accentuated with logic and specificness.
Oh.
So, specificness or specificity?
Yeah,
come on.
This is why I immediately was like, logic and specificness.
Yeah.
Before I get to talking about the 4th edition of the game, let's take a moment to talk about some of the tropes of Dungeons & Dragons so often pointed out by critics as being unrealistic and poor game mechanics, specifically character classes, level progression, and hit points.
Sure.
Now, I've played RPGs where you could just go and do anything. You want to create a bat-winged ninja elf that wields a katana and casts spells? Sure, you can do it.
We strongly urge you not to, but you can.
I mean, it's fine.
Oh, I know, you know what I
Yeah.
Honestly, if there is such a thing as too much freedom, this is it.
What an interesting thing to say.
Yeah.
What an interesting thing to say.
Who knows?
Like, it's one of those things where it immediately colors, like, the video weirdly, because it's like, so too much freedom is bad?
Yeah, apparently.
Like, I suppose if we want to be as, like, I guess if we want to be really, really, like, I don't know what the word would be, but it's it's potentially correct in the sense of if you just allow literally anything to happen for no reason, I suppose. But already that has a caveat, right?
Yeah.
It has to be for no reason if you want it to be like, oh, you're just going to do whatever? Fuck it, right? It's like, well, then it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hearing a lot. Okay, I'll turn it up a little bit more. If there's any music or anything and it bursts your eardrums, I'm apologizing to you right now. It's up to 280%. We'll see if that helps.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. I'm glad I installed this extension for this kind of shit. It would have right. I'd watch a movie of the 1983 D&D cartoon. That one. Yeah. Or a Golden Axe movie. That'd be cool. A ragtag group of misfits sounds about my speed. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's just about as generic as it can be.
That's all it needs to be, really.
Yeah.
They just need to do that. They need to put in a fireball, and then, you know.
And a dragon. And a dungeon.
Yeah, that's it. They're done. They did it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're playing chainmail. Yeah.
Could be.
Winged elves did exist. Yes, many winged creatures did exist. It's one of those things where 3.5 and before had so many races. It was crazy.
It was racist.
That's right.
In a good way.
He only has 10 books. He's missing 33 4E books. He's not a true fan. Yeah, right.
There's 43 4th edition books.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Or is that a joke?
I feel like no. I think that's probably accurate. And the 3.5 had so many too. So like,
oh yeah, 3.5 had an insane amount of books.
It would not surprise me in the slightest.
How many 5e books are there?
That's a great question. I think we're at 30s. I think we're in the 30s.
Oh wow.
Let me check because there was a list that I looked at one point. How many 5e books are there? Right. I gotta put D&D so that this is specific.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many 4th editions of any book were there?
Right, yeah. 32, according to 2015. Wow. There's probably more than that now, right?
Probably.
I don't know. Well, somebody can tell me there's more, but anyway. 3.5 had way more than 4E when you include both 3.0 and 3.5. True. Very true. Anyway, yeah, let's see.
Yes, it's nice to be creative, but at the end of the day, this is a game. It has to relate to something that the other players and the game master can put together into a cohesive story. If every player goes off on an infinite tangent, it becomes quite difficult to put all that together into balanced gameplay. And with no such diverse group of players, it can become ridiculously labor-intensive for the game master. No pre-made module will ever work for a group like that without major modification. And yes, you usually have to modify a module with any gaming group you're with. But there is a point where the modification becomes very labor-intensive. And the game...
Okay, that I agree with. Sometimes to such a degree, if you continuously like have to do things to a module in order to get it to fit, there is a point where you would, probably not want to use the module.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Before that, let me drag it back up just a little bit because I'm
together into balanced gameplay.
Right. Okay.
It has to relate to something that the other players and the game master can put together into a cohesive story.
Now, I assume what he's talking about is what I was suggesting before, which was just having absolute insanity for the sake of it and really nothing else. Like, no structure whatsoever. Anybody can do anything.
Yeah.
Which, sure, but I don't know if anybody
does that.
Well, so you could do that, and I'm sure there are people who do that, but
yeah,
I doubt that that's D&D that they're playing,
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Now, I'm trying... I don't know why you would bring it up in this context, because you're talking about...
I don't really know what this has to do with 4E.
Well, he's kind of started with this whole broad thing of, like, what Dungeons and Dragons has in general that people criticize, and I mean, like, this is just not a thing that anyone has criticized about D&D in the sense of it not being structured, I guess.
Yeah.
And it having so many people play with this kind of level of insanity. I don't think that's something that needs to be like, I don't know why we're talking about it. I don't know where we are already. Sounds more like big eyes, small mouth. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume that that's still itself structured enough, right?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, let me bring it forward a bit because we were like here.
You usually have to modify.
And I'll tell you one thing, I can
with
barely hear this guy and fucking Watch Together is at max volume.
If you want to look for an extension that lets you like do volume up, like
Nah, you're good. I can hear him. It's just not very good.
Sure. Yeah, I have something that allows me to go up to like 600%. Like,
holy shit.
Yeah, so I'm at 270 now because it's still like a little too
really
loud
quiet
on occasion, but yeah, it's
yeah.
But you know, he's peaking my OBS on occasion, and it's making me upset. But that's just what happens with a lower quality microphone, maybe? I don't really know what the issue would be on his end. I guess the levels just aren't balanced in a proper way. I don't know.
Yeah. Might
Pump
not
up
have
the
enough
volume.
gain.
I did.
Any gaming group you're with, but there is a point where the modification becomes very labor intensive.
You know what the problem was? Darktide is loud.
That does, yeah, that does stuff.
That's why I couldn't hear him. The screams of millions and millions of heretics
Good job.
Getting chainsawed.
You figured it out.
I figured it out. I'll lower my fucking Darktide volume.
There you go. There's a difference between randomness and creative freedom. Oh, absolutely, yeah. So that's why I'm just confused as to why we're talking about this, because he's put forth the randomness, and that's what we've got so far. I'm also not quite sure what he's talking about yet, so maybe he'll clarify. It's only been 2 minutes of a 19-minute video. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Tends to bog down from its own conflicting milieu.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I don't.
There is a point where the modification becomes very labor intensive, and the game tends to bog down from its own conflicting milieu.
Milieu?
Yeah, I have no idea what that word means. Or how it's spelled.
Hold on, one more time.
You have to modify a module with any gaming group you're with, but there is a point where the modification becomes very labor intensive, and the game tends to bog down from its own conflicting milieu.
I can only hear milieu.
Yeah, that's what I hear too.
I don't. Am I a dumb? Hello? Hold on.
I've never heard that word.
Milieu. Milieu? Wiktionary. But it's Indonesian for billion? I don't think that's what he means.
Yeah, I don't think it's getting bogged down by its own billions.
Billion, specifically Indonesian billion.
Yes.
Milieu. Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing for you. Maybe he means milieu? What's that? I don't know that one either. Hold on.
Yeah.
Milieu. I might know what it is after a person's social environment. Milieu. Milieu? No, I don't think that's.
Yeah, I don't think that's it either.
I have no idea. I'm very confused. GM has to do a bit of work, at least in Big Eyes Small Mouth D20, to make sure all the players' options fit the desired genre. Otherwise, you can end up with giant robots fighting Pokemon. Oh, sure.
Which
That's
sounds
fair.
pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? To be fair, though, if that's what your people want to do,
yeah,
you know, I mean, it's kind of what the game is built to do. Stuff like that. Anyway, milieu. It's either milieu or we just saw him have a stroke on camera. Fair. You know what?
Mm.
It's very possible either way. I don't know why milieu would be the word to use. A person's environment. Like, if that is the case, does he mean then like the group that he's with? Maybe?
Yeah, it doesn't even seem, the meaning doesn't really even fit very well.
Not really. So I'm very confused.
Yeah, as you should be.
Might be a typing mistake in his writing. Maybe. Yeah, his script has a thing that he just read, like, straight up. I don't know.
And while I like a flexible game system, there is a such thing as too much flexibility. Okay. Nothing exemplifies this point than the hero system role-playing game. Talk about number crunching. Try creating a character with...
Okay, so now we've moved on from D&D issue to now the hero system.
Yeah, like, what are we... oh my god. Yeah. This is all over the place already.
It's only been 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I know he's trying to pull examples, but these have no relevance at the moment.
Yeah, so far we've not established anything.
Not really. Or GURPS. Oh yeah, with like your setting and what you can do in it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's something that you have to kind of do some work with.
Out using a calculator.
Oh, he's calling it too complicated to do because you need to use
calculations.
You got to use a calculator for hero system, which, to be fair, I have no idea. I have no idea about hero system, but I have to assume because every TTRPG exists in this fashion where you don't need a calculator to do it.
Yeah.
But that's an assumption. So I'm perfectly willing to be proven wrong. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if you can show me that I can't add something up, write it on my piece of paper, and never have to worry about adding it up again. Because that's, always something that I can point to as whenever anybody says, you need to add so many modifiers. Like, well, maybe once or twice. I'll take hero system over GURPS. Fair enough. I don't know anything about the hero system. How is it? Does anybody out there in TV land know? Jumping around from topic to topic, just like my mind. Yes, you do need a calculator, but it's just to multiply and divide fractions to determine final build point costs. It's easier than GURPS. Really?
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, then it's weird. Okay. Well, then I retract a little bit. I had to pay good money for my TI-85. Give me a reason to use it, right? I don't even know where my fucking TI calculator is. I had one, a graphing calculator, for a long time, and now I don't. I have no idea. Man. Anyway, I'm a nerd. Let's go.
Hey, anything you want. But nobody plays that game because it's too labor intensive.
Yes, I know I'm being a bit snarky here in his little text on the screen. Stop.
Anyway, character classes, on the other hand, are neat packages of skills and abilities that conform to the genre that the game is trying to enforce.
Sure.
Yes, modify the class. But in the end, the core structure is there, and it relates to the milieu and the stories of that genre.
Use that word again, milieu. I don't...
Yeah.
Does he
very
mean
weird. I don't know
familiarity?
Why he does this.
I don't know. Why do
you go where we can't follow?
Yeah, right, exactly. If I put milieu with an ER in Google, it comes out as French, meaning 1,000. I don't think that's right either. I don't.
That's probably not right either. Yeah.
There's also milieu from dictionary.com that means 1,000 kilograms or a metric ton. That also doesn't seem like it fits.
This is weird.
I'm confused. Help.
Same.
My Machamp could beat any robot. Hell yeah, dude. There you go. Anyway, let me bring it back. Oh, that's too far. Okay.
Of course. Yes, modify the class. But in the end, the core structure is there, and it relates to the milieu and the stories of that genre that are being told. Is it realistic? No, not really. But it's not stretching the limits of credulity either. One can make the case.
Okay.
So people apparently criticize D&D for having classes
unrealistic.
For having classes that are unrealistic in their design. Which I personally, and again, this is anecdotal, I've never heard that. I don't, but I mean, it most likely exists. I'll give you that much. Why does that matter, I suppose, is my question. And then immediately you're going into, does it take away from, I don't remember the big word you used, but you definitely sounded smart when you used it.
The millier.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you definitely...
Does it take away from the billions?
It takes away from the billions. But... like, it...
Oh my god.
The class system is made so that it functions within the system that they've created. That's really all that it needs to be. If it didn't function, they wouldn't use it. And sure, some parts of it might not function as well, or they might not, be entirely up to par with what you would desire, but they still function. So, does it really seem so unrealistic that as you continue to, I guess, level in a class, that you would gain new skills and new abilities? Does that seem unrealistic? Because I would argue that it shows that progression of growth of your character over time, right?
Yeah.
Continuing to do this profession of dangerous work, so you kind of develop these new skills, right? And you go, but I must kill things better, or I must protect myself or others better, right? All this kind of stuff where or my god now thinks that, and to be fair, some of this might be more headcanon stuff, sure. But I think it still tracks at least a little bit in the sense of, I don't know, as I continue to live in my life, my skills either get better or worse depending on if I use them a lot or not, right? And if I want to continue to learn things. So, hello, Pizza Funk. Welcome. Too many times in a row with that word can't be mistake. No, absolutely not. I really think he means milieu and just doesn't quite have the right definition for it. Yeah, that might be the case. I don't know what he thinks the definition is that he's using, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Think he means milieu, but his pronunciation is making my brain go explosion emoji. Yes. Someone get Sherlock Holmes on the phone to tell us what the guy in the video is talking about. Right. Be very helpful.
It would, yes.
All right, but I do want to know, did he say the credulity? I want to hear what he said for his big word. Okay.
Yeah, credulity. That is a normal,
that's fine. That's fine. I'm just, he's using big words, and I'm feeling much smarter by listening to him, is all.
Of course.
The core structure is there, and it relates to the milieu and the stories of that genre that are being told. Is it realistic? No, not really, but it's not stretching the limits of credulity either. One can make the case that there are professions that seem like character classes in the real world. I mean, there were ninjas and samurai in feudal Japan. There are real-life priests and witches that do perform rituals. And
so the issue is that the classes are not realistic.
Well, again, he's not even gotten to 4E in his arguments against. He's just talking about what people say, apparently, about D&D.
Yeah, this is apparently a criticism of D&D.
Right. And let me tell you, even though there are quote unquote witches in real life, they don't. I mean,
they don't cast magical spells.
To be fair, they cast spells. That's a thing. But whether or not they actually work is up to debate in a lot of cases. A lot of cases. Some of them...
all cases.
Yeah, some of them, like, they attribute, I did this. And it's like, well, okay. Right?
Yeah,
but
sure.
I will absolutely entertain the possibility that someone out there could do real magic. Sure. Fuck it. I don't care. That's fine. You just need to prove it to me that that's what happened, right? I'm open to having it being proven to me, but I doubt that you can, right?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. This is a D&D video. Him using big words is unfair to us. Dude, I know, right? But like, yeah, it's weird. I don't know. In professions in real life, you gain skills by continuing to practice them and learn through them. Like, yes, but in real life as well, I don't know. That's just how things work. You don't have to look at professions to do it. Because if I look at my schooling, I wasn't a professional student. You can be a professional student. That's a possibility. But you know, it's not necessarily what has gotten me like the skills that I will be using. In the sense of it being my profession. Anyway, if having a copper dragon is wrong, then I don't want to be right. Yeah, there you go.
So on. Today's IT tech might be a modern day example of a character class.
Sure.
Bottom line, it's still relatable to the real world.
Sure.
Now, let's talk about level progression. No, people don't learn like that. In real life, it's a gradual process with small gains over time. Now, I've played in games.
So could I not argue, and again, I think that you're trying to argue against these, but I'm not sure entirely. Wouldn't I be able to argue that your experience as you get it in the traditional like D&D like experience setting is you getting those bit by bit as you continue through and continue to use your abilities and such, right? Already it's that 1-to-1, that 1-to-1 for that at least a little bit. I mean, it's not perfect considering, but you can structure your game so that it does more mirror it happening over a longer period of time. It's perfectly possible. The milestone rule set is also, I would argue, the same kind of thing. It doesn't give you that little boost. It's just at the time you go, you've done this enough, you get a new thing, right?
Yeah.
You've practiced enough, you've done enough fighting, you are now at the point where you can do something new. It's like, okay. He's going to talk about HP at some point. Oh, that's exciting. Yep. I could skip writing a comment 1 week to prove that the world would end, but nobody would benefit from that knowledge. Yeah, there you go. That's right.
That simulated that kind of progression, with a few experience points given out each session that can be applied to skills, giving some minor improvements, but nothing major. The problem with that is mainly this is a game system. When it comes to encounter design, level progression simplifies this tremendously for a referee.
When did this video come out? I need to know. Is he talking to people in the 20s? Like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Who is he talking to that actually, like, worries this much, right? About how levels and stuff work? Did they never look at anything that uses levels, ever? I'm very confused. Hold on.
Yeah.
When did this video come out? I thought it was rather recent in the grand scheme. 8 years ago. Okay.
Okay.
Even so, though, that's only 8 years. Things have existed for a long time.
Yeah, right?
I'm very... I don't know 8 years ago who was worrying about how levels worked and, like, the progression of skills and such in D&D in general. I don't know. 2014. Thank you, Pizza Funk. I appreciate you. I very confused. Where I guess we have to address the people that definitely exist.
Yeah, right? If only because of the fact that basically if something can exist, it does.
Right, exactly.
You know?
D&D in the 1920s sounds funny. Oh, yeah.
Party of first level characters can probably take on quite a few one-hit die goblins, but are going to be
no, they
by a
couldn't.
10-hit.
Yeah, well, which D&D are we talking about here?
Yeah, what D&D are you talking about, and what die did you use for their fucking health?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, standard hit die usually is like a D6 for goblins, if I remember right.
Yeah.
In a sense of, I think.
And so, like, a level 1 character... pardon. A level 1 character is not good. They are bad.
Yeah,
they have like 1 attack.
Right.
And probably no multi-targeting spells.
Right, exactly. So,
they are not good.
Does that mean this guy hadn't played 5e yet? Because everything he said so far can also be said about 5e, it seems. True. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Always remember that 4e was the progenitor to 5e in many ways. Right?
Yes.
It was the blueprint that they built upon and that they are now building upon for 1 D&D. Always remember this. This is but no, he hadn't played 5e yet. But yeah, you're right. You can say literally all of this in general about D&D, and that's the point that he's making, and he's trying to argue against those people that would make these points. But again, those people are such a small minority of people that give a shit about how D&D works.
That's basically not even worth fucking mentioning.
It's really not. I don't think anybody would have a problem accepting that D&D works this way.
Yeah.
To a degree, right? I'm lost on what he's trying to say. Right.
Don't worry, we are too.
Yeah. 4E Essentials is the progenitor, not 4E Core. Sorry. Yes, you're right. Looks like 5e came out September 30th of 2014. Oh, good quote. Good. Ooh, good shout. Hold on. This video was it just says January of 2014. So 5e had not come out yet. It was probably announced.
It was probably announced. They probably had some playtesting material and yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon. That's easy to understand. Trying to determine power level of characters.
Oh, sorry. Wait, I need to bring that back. He's talking about how it's easy to understand that your players could take on goblins and not a dragon. Yes.
Yeah.
Your first level characters could probably take on goblins and not a dragon. Sure, yeah, it's possible. Shit. Yes.
Yeah.
A party of first level characters can probably take on quite a few one-hit die goblins.
Quite a few.
But are going to be decimated by a 10-hit die dragon.
Yeah. What a thing to say.
Well, it depends, really.
What a thing to say,
because if it's just one dragon and it misses, well...
I mean, even so, they're not going to be able to do much.
Well, if it only has 10 hit die.
Well, so 10 hit die is what, like 10d10?
Is it? I thought the standard hit die was, a d6.
Well, a d6 for goblins. They changed for monsters, remember? Yeah. I forgot how old 5e is. Oh, yeah, it's old. It's been around forever now. And they're just kind of revamping it a bit. Like, it's not going away.
It's the Skyrim of D&D.
That's true. It's making money.
Yep.
I don't believe that. Goblins too OP. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, it's the action economy. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. Any self-respected goblin would decimate a party of 4. Like, their little band of 4 could definitely do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's easy to understand. Trying to determine power level of characters that slowly progress with point spreads over time is impossible, and some players are better at crunching the numbers than others, and in such a system, crunch characters tend to dominate. There are examples of level...
What a weird way to end that point. Yes. Good.
Yeah?
It doesn't... What does that have to do?
Someone who knows how to level their character properly and not choose shit is going to do better than someone just picking the worst shit.
Or just picking things for fun or all that, any reason. And also, it's impossible to do... No, it's clearly possible. It's in the game. Like, they did it.
They give you those numbers in the fucking book. It's
I suppose if what you mean that they mean, because again, you're using arguments from the nebulous them. If what they mean is that you couldn't do it without the system, in which case I would say, well,
yeah,
I don't know where we are, is my point.
Well, I don't know where we are, but you know what? Here we are.
Here we are. Any monster can beat a party given the chance. Yes.
Indeed.
Progression in the real world, such as graduating from high school or college, studying to get a certification at your job. And then you pass the test, you get more money because of your increased knowledge. So
no, you don't. You now have
not
new duties. That's
it. You also have more debt.
Indeed.
Is this video his fourth video on D&D 4e or fourth part of a series of reviews about all the different editions of D&D? The latter. Yes. It's over all the editions apparently. Up to this point. So I assume 5e it would be a later thing if he were to do one. I don't know if he did. I don't care if he did. It's not, it's not relevant to me at the moment. But like, yeah, this is the one that's about 4e, and that's why I chose it. It's going well so far, isn't it?
Totally realistic. It's still a relatable thing, and let's not forget the other aspect of gaining levels. It's fun. It's fun when after surviving a major quest, you get enough experience to roll more hit points and gain new abilities that you've been striving for. There is a sense of accomplishment, and a defined measure of progression.
Sure.
Lastly, let's look at hit points. Admittedly, this is not a true measure of a character's physical toughness.
You're right.
Maybe at low levels, but by the time a character is 20th level and has 100 or more hit points, it becomes ridiculous. We've all seen the fighter willingly jump off a 50-foot cliff knowing he won't die because...
and that's something that could be done, yes. Yeah. Technically, rules is written. But most of the time, at least for me, I put a little bit more realism into it. And I go, brother, you're wearing plate, all right? You want to have your legs literally leave your body and go to space? You be my guest, all right?
Yeah.
You be my guest. Like, through your body and go to space, let me be clear. If you said this about 4E, what else could he say about 1E? Oh, he hasn't even gotten to 4E yet, you know?
Yeah, he hasn't said anything yet, basically.
Again, I would think that this stuff would be covered in part 1.
Nope.
Okay.
Or just not at all.
Yeah, right?
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Level ups produce dopamine hits in the brain. That's true. Knowing he won't die, sure. Yeah, well, if we want to go strictly raw, 50 feet is just 5d6. It's all it is. It's not much.
Yeah, and I mean, hell, if we really want to fucking argue it, people have survived falls from planes.
Very true. It is possible. It's not probable.
It is possible.
It's not probable, exactly. But it is possible.
An insane amount of luck and them landing where they absolutely needed to.
Yes, which is why most of the time I will not rule it as a life that you can live through. You would probably not have to use. You would probably have to retire your character. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're going to a home. All right. They're going. They're going.
They're going to be a city guard now.
That's pushing it, man.
No, it's a Skyrim reference.
Gotcha.
Took an arrow to the knee, so they just,
I'm there.
I jumped off a plane, but now I'm a
I'm a city guard.
I can't be venturing anymore.
Yeah. None of those survivors landed on concrete. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. They all, I know of one specifically that was skydiving, and their parachute fucked up, and they wound up landing in a farm field that had just been tilled like the day before. So they effectively landed in soft soil that had been fluffed up.
That's very good for
them.
And
that's how they lived.
That's cool, though, that they, were able to.
Yeah, no, holy shit, could you imagine that? Dude, I don't even want to.
No. Certified coward here, and if I think about that too much, I will die.
Yeah, no, ugh.
No.
That's my thalassophobia. I've got apophobia, effectively.
That's fair.
Not actually, but,
Right.
too many hit points, or having a dagger at his throat and refuse to surrender because he knows the dagger simply can't kill him.
Well, so now we're talking
that's
about
a realism thing.
Yeah, we're talking about also the players are a little bit of a problem in that instance, right?
Yeah.
You're metagaming. That's what you're doing. Like,
that's not the fault of the system.
Yeah, no, it is something where your players are literally just not giving you that respect of like pretending that it's a real situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because they look at the sheet and they see the numbers, and it's like, well,
yeah, a dagger does D4. I have fucking 150. I'm
yeah,
good.
Exactly. And whilst I would be over here going, well, no, my guy doesn't understand what hit points are.
Yeah,
right. Like that doesn't track, man. Somebody comes up to him and says, dude, my guy has so many hit points. They would go, huh?
What the fuck?
What is
You're
this?
Crazy.
Yeah, what is this language you're trying to speak to me? I don't understand.
Yeah. Actually, what's funny is Overlord, the anime?
I know of it, yes.
Basically, so it's isekai where the guy was playing an MMO and he got put into the game. And so he is a player and he has routinely used the word player because he's looking for other players to see if he can, find other players.
Absolutely fair.
And what's funny is that in season 4, there is a person that he's like fighting against and he is like, is he the player we've been hearing about?
That's good.
And
I like that.
Is this other person this NPC? NPC? So it's like, they don't know what the fucking word means, right? But they know that he's been using it.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
I really like that. I'm glad that they incorporated that.
Yeah.
That's one that's on my list that I need to watch.
It's very good. I highly recommend it. It's one of the only isekais that I watch. The
that
other one that I keep forgetting to mention, because I've already finished watching it, was Konosuba, which is
that's also
fantastic.
On my list. The only other one that I watched was Log Horizon when it was like the 2 seasons, and then I never got anything.
That's
unfortunately.
I
remember hearing that the guy was gonna like continue it, but
it didn't wind up happening.
I don't know. I have not heard anything about it since. But I
really the other two that are good are Shield Hero and That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime.
Yep, all of those are on my list. Like one day.
Yeah,
one day.
Slime is very good because it's a lot more. It's not so much about like combat or like anything like that. It's the character becoming like hyper powerful purely by accident and then building a nation.
Ooh, okay.
So it's actually very like diplomatic and stuff. There is combat, obviously.
Yeah. I would much prefer diplomatic stuff, honestly.
Yeah, it's very diplomatic. Like he's building supply lines, forming alliances, making friends. It's really cool.
That makes me think of Log Horizon, honestly, because that was also very diplomatic and like trying to game the system in a way,
Yeah, and so one of the things that happens is like in the first or second episode, I think, guy gets isekai'd. And he wakes up as a tiny little blue slime. Yeah. And he's in these, like, sealed caverns. And inside these caverns is where the super rare herb grows. But, of course, he doesn't know anything about that.
Of course, right.
He absorbs, since he's a slime, he just, absorbs shit and eats it. And he eats a whole bunch of these herbs. Turns out that these herbs are, like, hyper rare because they are used to make the most powerful kinds of healing potions in the world. So he's like, oh man, we could really use some healing. It's like, man, if only I had this herb. And he's like, wait a minute, I think I know that name. Is it this? He's like, holy shit, where'd you find this? And then because he has all these herbs, they start like selling the healing potions.
That makes sense.
So they start making these hyper powerful healing potions and then just diluting them down. So that they can sell them at different levels. So that way you have week 1. And they started a fucking economy with that.
That's awesome.
It's really cool.
That does sound awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I don't mean to fucking
One day I will watch that, I promise. One day.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Just like everything that I have on my list one day. Before I die,
yeah, no,
maybe.
You're fine.
We'll see. Anyway.
Yeah. Along with your 3,000 games. Good luck with that.
Anyway. I swear I'm let's see. I used to be an adventurer like you, then I took a planet in the knee. Yeah. Best way to survive falling is just to miss the ground. That's all. True.
Yeah.
Overlord rules.
Yes.
If you miss the ground, you'll want to be in a spaceship. Oh. But space doesn't exist. Oh.
Yeah.
I like diplomacy. Yeah.
Indeed.
And then you fall into the abyss, I assume. Oh, yes. Rimaru Tempest and Lord
Rimuru Tempest.
And Lord Ains
Ains
are the kings of isekai shows. There you go.
Yes. So Rimuru is the slime, and Ains is the overlord main character.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
However, this was adequately addressed in 3rd edition via the Constitution saving throw in these types
So why are we talking about it?
of situations.
Man, I don't know.
Hit points, for the most part, are a representation of factors such as luck, skill, and resourcefulness.
No,
it's
they're
an
not.
abstract, and with a bit of
That's
always
a
hate when
very
we-
inaccurate description of them.
I always hate when we put luck into HP.
Yeah.
I really like. I'm good with stamina and health, and I'm good with, I guess, like armor in a way, right? Like it's all of those things combined in a way. But luck always, because then when you think about it as like a story, at least it's like, oh man, it was really lucky that this guy never hit me in the throat. It was really lucky that he never aimed for my eyeball. It was really lucky, And it's like, I don't know, that cheapens it to me.
Yeah, no, luck will work like once.
Right. And it's completely different from the luck mechanic in Call of Cthulhu, right? Where that's a resource that you can spend in order to do that. And it's like, well, yeah, it's there for you to go, fucking lucky that I didn't have that happen to me. But it is something that does like feel like a consequence, because getting that back isn't like the easiest thing to do in the world. In the moment, right? You can't just get it back. It's not your health in a way. And even then, your health in that game is not something you want to lose either.
Yeah, it's
right?
really not. You don't get that back quickly either.
Yeah, all of your resources in Call of Cthulhu, even luck, are something that you don't necessarily want to spend.
Yeah.
Because they're incredibly useful. So it adds weight to it more so, and it adds more of that situation of, it's more of me going, fuck, I'm glad that I was lucky enough, instead of me going, man, damn was lucky. Shit, super lucky. You know? Anyway. The healing spell is called Cure Wounds. 4E's hit point system did a neat job supporting hit points being a combination of body stress and mental grit. Yeah. Also, the dice roll is your luck. Yeah. If I was facing a knight, I would always go for the eyes. Yeah, well, I mean, go for joints, right?
You go for, if you're in a fight, you win. You do it, you fight to win.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't fight to be honorable.
No.
And so you go for the weakest points.
Yeah, if you're in a fight to the death, you win. That's just how it goes. If you fight
that's just
for honor, like for a spar, basically, then, it's not a fight.
Then it's not a fight.
Right. I mean, it is a fight, but it's not for your life.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what matters. Anyway, 4E's hit point system is cool it also has that condition of bloodied, which is really cool.
And how it activates so many other things.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic little thing that it's got in there to give you that whole like, fuck, dude, you've done a lot of damage to this thing, and man, it's fight or flight time, basically.
Yeah.
And now my fucking adrenaline is pumping, brother.
Modification, the lack of realism in the system can be overcome. Now, with all of that said, let's talk about the 4th edition of the game.
Oh, thank God.
Let me also preface my comments with the fact that I DM'd a 4E campaign for months.
I don't care.
Okay. And our group really earnestly gave it a try. I know there are those of you who really like it. And of course, everyone is entitled to their opinion. But regardless of how you feel...
It doesn't need to be said, dude. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
...about this edition of the game, what is undeniable is how fractured the D&D gaming community has now become because of it. Wizards of the Coast withdrew the open gaming license with 4E, and the game system itself was a massive departure from its previous edition.
Massive.
It wasn't.
Massive departure. Really.
Massive departure.
It's not a completely different game.
It's really not.
It has a few different mechanics, but the core game is still there.
It's still the exact same thing. It's just the biggest thing, the biggest difference between 3.5 and 4 is powers.
Yep.
Everybody got abilities.
Yep.
And spell-like abilities.
Yep.
And that honestly made things a lot more interesting for me.
Looking at it and reading about it, it seems like something that works just fine.
So the way I see 4E, a good way to explain it, I would say, is if you were to take a look at, say, World of Warcraft or any MMO,
oh my god,
imagine playing a fighter in that game and the only thing you have is your auto attacks.
Right, yeah.
That's the difference between 4E and the previous things.
Sure.
In the previous, and still kind of in 5E, unless you're a battle master, a fighter is auto attacks and nothing else,
usually.
Effectively. Yeah. Not 100%, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I got you.
Whereas a sword fighter in World of Warcraft has like a charge, you got a taunt, you got a big powerful attack, you got like a disarming attack, you got a tripping attack.
You had these
all these different things
built into your class more so.
Yeah.
Whereas usually fighters, they have to build around that like auto attack more so. They have to really make it so that auto attack means something more than just it being an auto attack. And then in 4E you have your different attacks that you just have access to. They're very cool, right? Yeah. I do want to highlight this. Kendall in the chat here, hello, says I'd say 2E to 3E was way bigger of a difference than 3E to 4E, and I would agree with that entirely because 2 AD&D had the skill-based system, especially of it being percentage-based. It was literally roll D100, and if you got under your skill, if you got over your skill, I think it was, you would succeed or something. Because that was like your failure rate or something. I don't remember entirely. It was one of the two of either going over or under.
Not to mention THAC0.
THAC0 as well, right?
I imagine going away from THAC0 was huge.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure it was. I'm sure that people complained that it was too simple to go from THAC0 to the current system that we use today, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird that this shift really is the thing that people like gravitate towards as like the total departure from D&D. And I think it's more so because it became popular.
Yeah, it became popular to say that, you mean?
Well, no, I mean in general, D&D became popular after 2E, like after it.
Yeah.
Sure, it was popular enough at the time. 2E was something that was played a bunch, but it started to become more and more mainstream as we go through the years, right? Not until we hit 5E does it become totally mainstream, but it did get more and more popularity, and more people were there to look at it, and people went from 3 to 4. Not 2 to 3 to 4. They more went from 3 to 4, I think. Again, this is speculation, but I really think that it's just the subset of these people that are now able to make these kinds of videos and such, right? And really talk about it to such a degree. And get that meme going. But again, I don't know for certain. It just feels that way to me.
Yeah.
Pretty sure the ideal of knightly honor was invented in the 20th century. Yes. Oh yeah. If you look into the actual chivalry code, it's completely different from what people say. It's like it's not like super, but it isn't great. As far as I remember, There's some stuff in there, right? If I looked at 3.5, I think almost every class has class abilities, even more so in Pathfinder. Yes.
Yes.
Every fan base is split in many ways from what I have seen. Yes. Oh, absolutely. But this is one of those ones where it's just, I don't know. It's just endured for such a long time for no reason.
Yeah.
The problem with Wizards of the Coast editions is they went from being 3.5 being a simulation to 4E being more game focused to 5E being more narrative focused. So every edition focused on a different style of play. So going from a strong simulation type game into a game that put the game first in presentation was like a total paradigm shift, and the player base felt serious cognitive dissonance. Sure. Well, that's the thing, right? It's, I don't know, I guess it does make sense in the sense of it being the same from 2 to 3, but I just think that the change to the system itself, the rule set being changed to what it is now, more so, from 2 to 3, is more radical than 4 from 3, right? And again, that just is my perspective on it. I don't think that it's necessarily true for like everybody's like perception of it. Back then, they probably focused on it being more of a realistic kind of thing where you could go in and really tweak everything from 3, right? And then with 4 saying, yo, fucking now you have all these powers in front of you, and we're really gonna front load you with like, this is, you should get miniatures and stuff. Again, we've talked about it before. The marketing was kind of a big problem. Yeah. Big problem for 4E. And that's what really, I think, turned a lot of people from it. Is just the way that they marketed it. And people didn't give it as much of a chance as they could have, because they have that in their mind of like, oh no, this is like a war game, more so, right? But anyway. I think rolling above your skill percentage would be failure, because that percentage goes up when you improve it. At least that's how it worked in Icewind Dale / Baldur's Gate. It's probably that then. Yeah. Saying 5e is narrative focus is kind of like saying a paddle boat can be used for ocean travel. It's technically true, but nothing about a paddle boat is helpful regarding ocean travel. Well, so I think honestly, every D&D game is narrative focused. It doesn't matter. I mean, like some of them are like more front loaded with the rule set being like, this is more, I guess, presented, not so constructed in the way of it being more of one kind of focus or another. I think it's just about presentation, because I think they're all incredibly similar, these D&Ds. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Milestone advancement is narrative, story-focused advancement. Yes, but you can do that in literally every game. So, was it not present as an option, quote unquote, in the rule books? Because even if it wasn't present, I'm sure that people still did it.
Yeah.
But if we want to go from system, like the system argument, if it's not presented in the system in the rule book, then there is something there. In the sense of it being presented as less of a narrative experience. I'm not sure any edition of D&D had mechanics focused on narrative. Not like in a strict sense, I wouldn't say. More than any other. I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Also, what you have to understand about THACO is that it stands for to hit armor class 0. That's the key point to getting it to click. Yes. Yep. I know.
Yeah, we know. We know that one.
Yep. I am fully aware of many things about THACO. Believe me. I just don't care. And I'm sorry. It's just not for me. It just isn't. And I'm fully and willingly able to admit that and say that 2E is still perfectly fun. And anything under 3 is perfectly fun. As older editions. They're absolutely fun. Is there D&D contests like how video games have esports, if that's like the last mainstream thing it has not done? No. There are groups that are focused on going week to week through adventure modules. It was called the Adventurers Guild, I believe. That was a thing, but it wasn't like a competitive thing. It was just a way to get people to play together.
Yeah.
There's no competitiveness to D&D unless you want to make that, in which case it's like a gladiatorial thing that you just do as like usually you do as like a one-off or something in your game, just to see who matches up to who, right? That's all right. I'll understand Thaco, so you don't have to. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thaco minus attack roll equals AC. Hit. Super simple. There you go. I'll leave it out of my brain forever, though. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fuck, you've told me it, and now it will stick. Shit.
So much so as to be totally unrecognizable as the same game. With few exceptions. Yes, there's level progression, hit points, character classes, beholders, and hey, it even says Dungeons and Dragons on the cover, but this...
Dude, come on, there's more than that. The way that you can run the game is still exactly the same. The only difference now is that they really focus on presenting you with this grid and these miniatures that you need to have, quote unquote, need to have in order to play it. Like and the powers. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
That's really it. They introduced a lot of cool mechanics. They introduced a lot of interesting ways to do enemy types.
Yes.
And
they
creating
made making enemies a lot more interesting, because now you can have a goblin who's a leader instead of just, like he's got an actual kind of like baby class to him.
And like, to be fair, you don't have to do that in older editions and newer editions to make that the case. But it's nice to have as an option.
Yeah.
That you can just slot it in, and it takes off so much of the work of the DM. It's just a benefit, really. You don't have to use it. That's the best part. You don't have to use it if you hate it. I wonder what this person thinks D&D means.
Probably Miller.
Milieu.
Milieu. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Milieu. That's what he says. I never really conceived of playing 3.5 without a grid, actually. That's fair. It's absolutely fair. I've done it without a grid. I've done it with a grid. It's fine either way.
It's a devastatingly different game altogether. So great was this departure in system design that now the player base is scattered among a whole slew of D&D clones.
Okay, so again, you've claimed this absolute it's such a departure.
It's so different.
Like
This is the thing that people who have never played it or read the books just parrot out.
Well, even if they have, they continue to do so without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because it's just different than what they used to do, or that what they're doing now, right? Because but it's not. They just don't. They look at it surface level. They look at it, and they look at, again, the presentation of it, the combat presentation of it, and they go, man, this thing is way more combat focused. Way more. Oh, man, it's crazy. And it's like, well, brother, there's like several chapters about, like, I don't know, role-playing?
Everything else?
And
it's normal in D&D.
Like, skill challenges? Like, fucking, I don't know, man. I don't know this willingful ignorance about how 4E is, like, persists.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't get it. What is this narrative? What is it? Where am I? The worst crime of the original D&D movies was making beholders act like watchdogs. Him saying beholders reminded me. Fair enough. That sucks. That sucks so much because beholders are so intelligent.
Yeah. They're crazy, but,
Why is the picture of the Pathfinder books if this is about D&D? Well, he's saying now that because of 4E, people have now gone
playing Pathfinder.
They've gone to D&D clones, right? Which already I'm like, brother.
My brother in Christ.
Just because people are now broadening their horizons because of, and to be fair, if 4E led to people playing more than just D&D, that's great. Honestly, net positive for the entire TTRPG like hobby, right?
Yeah.
But even so, that doesn't mean that 4E is like bad, right? It's a helpful and useful thing that came about because of it, I guess, in the grand scheme, I would say. Why is that even bad? The player base is trying new things. Oh, the horror. Exactly,
Yeah.
Pizza Funk. Exactly.
The most prominent being the Pathfinder game system. No less than half a dozen retro clones like Labyrinth Lord, Osric, Spellcraft and Swordplay, Swords and Wizardry, as well as Castles and Crusades.
These are cool sounding. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's
what's the issue here?
What's the issue? Are you lamenting the fact that the community became divided and so they stopped playing D&D and they went to other things and that's just bad? Because that's the implication here.
Yeah.
And I
right?
don't
Like,
understand why.
I don't even know if he does either.
It's fair. I'm Miller.
Million.
It persists due to cognitive dissonance. It's lasted for 14 years in the hobby, and so many people have stuck with this misguided belief that to now change their minds would require being wrong.
That now litter the fantasy RPG landscape.
What a word to litter. What a word
Litter
to
the
use.
RPG landscape.
Just language is important. Language is important.
While many of these game systems, as I pointed out in my previous video, existed before the release of 4th edition, after its release, players abandoned the official version of the game in droves and were basically scattered out into the sea of D&D clones.
Oh no!
Again, what are we doing? Where are we? This video was about okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess this is a part of your review in the sense of this is the fallout of what 4E did. Okay, sure. You still haven't told me why this happened. Because, again, you've told me what you think why this happened is, but you haven't given me anything to go off other than what you've said in the sense of it was so bad and so radically different. It's like, substantiate these claims, please. At least a little bit.
That'd be nice.
Don't think of it as being wrong. Think of it as becoming right. Ooh. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Heading home now. Well, have a good drive. Or go to Denny's. Either one.
Ooh.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But I will kill Artorias. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. I still need to finish that. Oh, man.
These being the Pathfinder game, which many like to refer to as D&D 3.5, 3.75.
Huh?
Yeah, people referred to... Wait. Did he say... Hold on. Let me try.
He said 3.75.
Yeah. I think he meant that Pathfinder was referred to as that, which... yeah, that was the thing. That was.
Oh my god, I didn't even know that.
It's because it was just 3.5, but a little bit more, I guess, in a lot of instances, which is like, okay, yeah.
Basically scattered out into the sea of D&D clones. The most successful of these being the Pathfinder game,
yeah, there you go.
Which many like to refer to as D&D 3.5, 3.75.
There you go. Yeah.
My point with this line of talk here is that whether or not 4th edition is a good game, it doesn't matter. The fact is that before 4th edition, most of us were playing Dungeons & Dragons, and now we're not.
Oh no, again, oh no.
What?
Who fucking cares?
That's the point of your video? That's the point of your video? People stopped playing D&D? Oh no?
Yeah.
8 years ago, was this really like...
No.
We've stopped playing 4E because it was something that drove us all apart. Man, that's man, we should find ourselves and come back together. I mean, you got what you wanted. 5E did that. There you go.
5E did that.
There you go. I'm glad
it
for you, I guess.
homogenized and simplified fucking everything. Are you happy? Was it fucking worth it?
Was it worth it?
What did it cost?
Everything. You players and your weird gay D&D clones. Back in my day, we played D&D and liked it. That's right.
Fucking straight.
Pathfinder 1E was seen as 3.75 at first. Yes.
That's very strange.
So this is just saying he did not like seeing people play Pathfinder.
Yeah, right.
The the plethora of other choices out there and people flocking to them instead of D&D, bad. Basically the point of the video, and I'm not here for it, really.
Yeah.
Because he even said whether or not D&D 4E was good doesn't matter. And it's like, well, no, that's the crux of it, though.
Yeah, that's kind of
like,
the point of the whole thing, usually.
Because the people like yourself even, or no, actually, I don't know if he's ever claimed that it's bad, to be fair. I might be misremembering, but I don't think he's ever claimed
We're
it.
8 minutes in.
Oh my god.
And fucking nothing has been said.
I know. I'm excited to see if he ever claims if it's good or bad. But the crux of the matter is that everyone says it's bad. And they all give different or similar reasons in the sense of it being so departed. But some, now at least, at the moment, you're giving me, at least from what I gathered from your video, you're giving me the reason is that it divided the community. And that's why it's bad.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing to cite, I guess.
Yeah. That's one of the only things that we don't hear about this game all the fucking time.
No. So, like, I mean, it's a new
that
one.
Being the reason, you know.
Yeah, it's a new one, and I'm here for a new thing, I guess.
Even if it is fucking stupid.
Yeah. It's like, what is it? No, that doesn't, huh? Methinks you picked a Garibay level quality video. Yeah, well.
Yeah. Sure seems so.
Wait, what? We have another 10 minutes to go? 11,
yeah.
But yes. Here we go.
The player base is scattered, and no matter how good 4E is or isn't, that's beside the point.
Oh, fifth is out. Look, it's got fifth.
Oh my god.
I wonder if it's the playtest material. I don't actually. It probably is the playtest material at this point. Because again, this was in January and it came out in September, right? Interesting. That in January we had some 5th edition content. That's interesting to know. I could easily do research and find out like anything that I wanted to know, but I don't care enough.
Yeah.
I'm going by just this video, and that's all I need.
Yeah, this is. We shouldn't need to do research for your video to be bad.
Let me go make some coffee. Oh, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
For me personally, the biggest problem with 4th edition is that it plays sort of like a video game.
And there it is.
Again, personal, he says. Personal.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Fine. If that's how you see it, that's how you see it. It's fine.
Yes, there were tropes in D&D, as I addressed earlier. But on some level, these were at least relatable to the real world. With 4E, that is simply not the case.
Oh. Okay.
The classes are the same.
I would love to hear the reasons.
Yeah, the classes are literally the same. You just can't. Like, is it just because of the powers? Is that literally it?
Yeah.
Because in which case I go, well, you just rename them as just your abilities.
Yeah.
Like, and they're just your attacks and abilities and spells, and that's it. Like, you don't have to use the nomenclature because it's just the same. Wait, he just showed Google search results. That's not actually a representation of players. Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, these are searches on Google. Oh, you're right. People just searched if 5th edition came to be. I see. Wow. Okay.
What the fuck?
Wait, so then what does this... People search more...
What does this have to do with anything?
Well, so the reason that he's done this is people search more for 3.5. I assume after 4E came about. This doesn't give any time span, by the way.
Yeah.
No time span at all.
Yeah, no time span. And here's the other thing. If 4E wound up being, more mainstream than 3.5, of course this would happen.
Yeah. Exactly.
This doesn't mean anything.
No. Is it because of the colorful presentation of the powers? Dude, it might be. I'm excited. I'm excited now.
Yeah.
All classes now have powers.
Yep.
Each class gets its power from either a martial, arcane, or divine source that can have some really peculiar and bizarre effects. It's like moving your allies 5 feet or making your opponent move. And let's not forget healing surges, which basically allow your character to go from encounter to encounter with little penalty for the damage received in the previous encounter.
Okay. So, now somebody cite something, please, for me, if you would. Because I don't know where I would find it right now. But in 3.5 and earlier, was there anything equivalent in the sense of healing, like, out of combat? Because I don't think so. But
yeah.
But I agree that it's less realistic, right? But he's even in his video here given reasons as to why a lot of things are fine because they are in the spirit of it being a game. This was a point that he has brought up to counter some of the earlier criticisms of D&D as a whole. Now, he's trying to say that because it doesn't have any, I guess, real-world equivalent, in a way, right, that this is a problem. Now, if that is the case, then why would healing spells and spells in general also be okay?
Yeah,
Right.
It's so selective.
Exactly. That's the thing. Depending on what we need for the narrative.
Yeah, it's just selective. It is.
Ugh.
It's bad.
It is. It's just bad. It's just bad argumentation when you just take something for one argument and you don't use it for the rest of it, because it would damage your narrative, right? Potions and cure wound wands were most common outside of combat. Yeah, I guess what I mean is an inherent power, right?
Yeah.
That's more what I'm going for, and I don't think that was a thing. Potions and cure wounds and all that was fine because that's always been the case, and I guess since it's always been the case, then we can overlook
as long as it's grandfathered in, it's good.
Exactly, right? Because again, if we're going to use this argument of it needing to have some basis of realism, and then some things are okay because of a game perspective, then again, why isn't this okay because it's a game perspective, right? It allows you to keep playing the game. It allows you to keep doing combats in the game, which is something that is known for in D&D.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of a big part of it. So the ability to do more of it is pretty, like, nice to have. Again, if you don't like it enough, you don't have to use it, I guess. But it still works pretty well for the system. And later things have used it as well. In many instances. Now, is that a sense of people just coming around to this being an alright thing to use? Probably, because it's been here forever. It's been from 4E. Probably been in other systems. So why is it okay later, not okay then? Because we got used to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's just it.
Yeah.
Because fighters use martial powers instead of fighting techniques, the use of the word power seems to trigger people. Yes, exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If you use the words power instead of technique or instead of ability, you're gonna have people go, ugh! It's like, but you understand what it is. It isn't just magic. It is a technique. It is something that your character can do because that is what they have trained to do. It's the same way as every other class, right? Crazy. Does Garibay play Pathfinder? I don't think so.
I don't believe so. I think he's actually said that he doesn't like it.
Yeah, I don't believe so. Anyway, let's continue with this insanity.
Yes.
By a spear? No problem. I've got 4 healing surges left. And let's look at encounter powers, for example. Here are powers that are usable once per encounter. It doesn't matter how many encounters you have that day, 1 or 100. You can use that power once during that encounter. And when the next encounter happens, everything's all good. You can use it again.
Yo.
Yeah?
That doesn't make any sense, except in the context of a game.
No, it absolutely can make sense.
Okay, so let's talk about, I guess, depending on the power, we could give it reasons as to it being limited in the amount of like energy it uses, right?
I can give you a realistic example for every single encounter power, and it can apply to every single class, and it will work.
Yeah.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Adrenaline surge.
Sure.
When you have an adrenaline surge, you are fucking exhausted afterwards.
That is true. Yes.
If you are able to use this power and it winds up causing an adrenaline surge, or you have to have an adrenaline surge to use it, there's a good reason why you would not be able to do it again. But once you are out of combat and you're like, oh, and you can fucking
Rest.
take that breath and take a moment to just cool the fuck off, you're good to go. Because that's how adrenaline surges work.
I'm good with that as a reason. If we really need to make up like reasons for this working the way that it is, that's fine, I guess, but why aren't we doing that for literally everything? Why are we having a problem with just this, right?
Yeah.
Is it because it is a once a day thing? Again, later on in 5e, we get to see all of these things that are only once per day and all this kind of stuff, right? Once per long rest, because they were able to simplify it enough, and it was enough time had passed that they could get it in there, and people were like, "Oh yeah, this is fine," right? Yeah. But it's always been there.
Yep,
it's always been there since 4.
Indeed.
There's no like, again, you like 5e, you like 4e, you do.
Indeed,
you just do.
And you just don't know it.
Nope. They don't like encounter powers, but totally cool with short rest abilities. Exactly my point.
Yeah, right?
Like, yeah. It's just interesting to me that we can have this level of, as you've put it, in fact, cognitive dissonance, right? It's crazy.
There's no real-world relationship to that, except things that tend to work that way in video games, in video game worlds and milieus.
Yeah, much of it was in 3.5 as well. That's right. There are things in there of like once per day things. Absolutely.
Yes.
So like, yeah, it's been there forever. I just don't know why now we're choosing...
Because it's called a power.
Right, exactly. It's called a power, and it's given to literally everyone. And that's the problem. If it wasn't for martial classes, I honestly think if they had just called them techniques for martial classes, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
It would have been absolutely fine. Is Meliora is a Latin adjective meaning better? Wikipedia? Dude, I don't know. It doesn't fit, I don't think.
Yeah, that still wouldn't work.
If he uses it again, I'll think about it, but at the moment, I don't think so.
I like rituals. That makes sense to me. At-will powers sort of make sense to me, but then you think about where the character is getting the energy from to use these abilities at will, and you were talking about, apparently, an infinite energy resource. One of the hallmarks of old-school Dungeons & Dragons, one of the things that players had to really think about was an attrition of resources as characters progressed through the adventure.
Well, you still have that.
Yeah, you still have those, man.
It's just that you also have this thing that you can rely on that is either your basic attack or a basic shitty spell.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, if I have a knife, okay?
Yeah. Let's say for the sake of argument that you are currently in possession of a bladed object.
A bladed object, yes. Indeed. If I have a fucking knife, okay? And I've mastered knives, let's say. I am proficient with knives to the point that I can do some crazy shit with it, right?
You've studied the blade.
I have studied this tiny blade. It is in my hands, and it looks like it is a short sword because I am a small man.
Okay.
And so I go, and I'm going into a fight, and I'm using all my tricks, right? Man, I'm getting through this fight okay, but I'm getting tired. I can't do all those tricks anymore because I'm getting so fucking tired. It's taxing fighting, actually. Crazy that. So all my big stuff, I can't really do as well because I'm not going to be as agile or as strong as I need to be in order to land this shit.
Yeah.
But I can still stab with the knife.
Yeah.
Like, it's still a thing I can do.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much effort.
Just thrust forward. It's not actually that hard to do that.
And that's what I imagine the at-will powers / cantrips would be, is, you know, the weave that you use to get all that magic out of shit?
Yeah.
It doesn't take as much to go bleh, with a little tiny burst of fire from just a little bit to do a little bit of damage as much as it would take to do a fucking fireball.
Yeah.
And, like, spacing that out, you know, every 6 seconds or so, sure, it'll still be tiring in the sense of, like, at the end, you've done a lot of weave fucking, like, movement, I guess, or whatever the fuck. Shaping, let's go with that. Weave shaping. Yeah. But it's not going to be as bad as if you threw 16 fireballs in a row.
Yeah. That's kind of difficult.
It's why I like, and I'm going to try to make this at some point, a table for, I like the idea for magical exertion, where you do way more than you could in the sense of, like, using another spell slot that you don't have, right? Mm-hmm. And that shit could be catastrophic.
Yeah.
Right? It's a really big risk versus reward, but if you need that shit in that moment,
it is available to try.
Exactly, but you better fucking be ready for that to backfire, okay? And depending on how high a level the spell would be, it'd be like if you, I don't know, singe yourself also when you're casting a firebolt to literally blowing yourself, like, your brain up. Yeah. You know? With a fucking meteor storm.
Yeah, when you try to cast lightning bolt, the bolt comes out of your brain, it blasts a hole through your fucking skull.
Exactly, right? Like, a reason for something is fine, but is not necessarily a thing for everyone. Sure, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is the thing. Even his fucking video, he's given reasons as to why you can ignore it. You can ignore reasoning because of the game. And he's already used many times that this is too gamey. It's like, what is it, man? Can you ignore it or can you not? Is there a line? I don't think so.
Seem like it.
I don't think so. It's just how you prefer it, which is fine, but you can't say that it's a bad thing just because you don't prefer it.
Yeah.
It'd
be like me saying fucking peanut butter is bad because I don't like peanut butter.
Right, exactly. And I would call you a crazy man.
Exactly.
I still call you a crazy man, but...
Oh, I know. I'm the one that suggested Halo 2 on Legendary. Don't worry, I know I'm crazy.
Absolutely true. And I'm the one who agreed to it, so what does that make me?
Equally as crazy.
Exactly. Listen to him. He's still stuck in simulationist thinking. 3.5 did a great job conditioning people to think that way for the 7 years it was printed. Well, I think even 2E had that effect, right? I think it's been that way for a long time. It's like Wizards of Oz. Lots of 3.5 players walked the 3.5 brick road and then got to the 4E city and saw the game of D&D behind the curtain. 4E revealed the game of D&D and put it to the forefront. Yeah.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah. What is this anyway? Famous last words in role-playing. Maybe it's not hungry. Did you think we woke it? Just okay.
This is in reference to having limited supplies.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
The specter of death was very real, and to me, that was part of the allure of the game. Your character could die at any moment.
Yeah?
Thus, play was conservative.
So, brother, I want you to know that the healing surges don't prevent you from necessarily dying in the moment. I mean, to be fair, though, I believe there is a rule that allows you to use a healing surge or at least something to not die in a critical moment. Though I think maybe that's hero points.
I think that's that. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be hero points that I'm thinking of. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't believe healing surges could do that.
No, not to my knowledge, but
not to mention, here's the thing. Healing surges aren't this thing that you can just spend in combat.
No, exactly.
They are essentially, you know what they are? They're fucking hit die.
Yeah.
That you can spend. It's literally the exact same thing. It's just called a different thing. Because you still have to do them during a rest.
Yeah.
The only class that could use them in combat, I believe, was the fighter. And
right,
it basically was
second wind.
It's second wind.
So
as long as you call it something else, 4E is fine.
Right. And then also I remember as a cleric, the way that you healed people was using their healing surges that they had with your spells.
Yes.
That's how it worked.
Yeah, you are able to manipulate their healing surges.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's nothing fucking wrong with it.
Yeah. You just use the wrong terminology, apparently.
Yeah. You
what a shame.
What the fuck are you doing? You don't remember.
Yeah.
Read the things that you're trying to criticize before you do it. Please. You could say copper dragons got their scales from a bucket of hot copper poured on them, but you don't have to. Yeah, exactly. That's true. You could say that. You'd be wrong, but you could say it.
Oh, God.
And this usually forced characters, unless they were foolish, to withdraw back to the town or civilization to rest, heal, purchase supplies, and so forth.
Why did you say town or civilization? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Why are you trying to sound smarter? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know, man.
You could just say town.
Yeah.
This also allows for roleplay with no combat NPCs, and for
Are you under the impression that all D&D games are just wandering between dungeon to dungeon to dungeon?
Yeah, I'm very confused now.
Like, what the fuck are we on about now?
Where are we? Literally.
Here we are.
Healing surges are like a character's stamina where you could only heal so much in a single day because your body could only do that much. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was the whole point, which I think is better than what 5e did with it.
Yeah.
I think that it makes so much more sense because your body can only take so much punishment before your natural ability and the magical ability to heal that punishment is diminished.
Yeah.
It works really well in my eyes.
Additional plot elements into the story with greater frequency. Now,
Okay, wait. I need to hear that full thing because I'm very confused on this narrative thing now. What?
To withdraw back to the town or civilization to rest, heal, purchase supplies, and so forth.
Right.
This also allows for roleplay with no combat NPCs, and for the DM to introduce additional plot elements into the story with greater frequency.
Now I need to draw back even further. What are we on about? Because I thought we were talking about healing.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Old school Dungeons and Dragons, one of the things that players had to really think about was an attrition of resources as characters progressed through the adventure. The specter of death was very real, and to me, that was part of the allure of the game.
Okay.
Your character could die at any moment. Thus, play was conservative. And this usually forced characters, unless they were foolish.
Okay. Because you were able to die at any fucking moment, your play was more conservative, which meant you could do more narrative-focused shit. You're wrong.
Yeah, are you under the impression that people only roleplay when their life is in danger? Or because they might die?
Exactly.
If anything, if I'm in a position where I know my character is highly, greatly in danger of dying, why would I roleplay?
Yeah.
Because if the character's gonna die, well, there wasn't any fucking point.
Yeah.
Because that character's never gonna talk to that person ever again.
In a life
I know
and
that's
death
a very cynical way to put it, but
no, it's fair. In a life and death situation, there's going to be less roleplay, I would think.
Yeah.
Like literally
more,
life and death.
Trying to survive.
Yes, exactly. So, but like regardless of that, you can still roleplay just as much in any setting, whether you're dying or not, or the chance of death is high or not. What a strange thing to say.
Yeah.
What an absolutely strange thing to say.
Man. Because, I'm not sure if this is profiling or not.
Oh my god.
But, the video title is Retro RPG Review.
Sure.
D&D 4e is not retro.
No.
And, like, the title, along with these very weird viewpoints about when you can roleplay, when people would, about how the game was better when you were a hair's breadth from dying at all times. This is really starting to feel like an OSR review.
One of the bad ones, absolutely.
Yeah,
one
because
of the bad ones.
That is one of the things that we just keep coming across when people do shit reviews about OSR RPGs.
Yeah.
You know?
It's that mindset that it is the way. That's it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, so, and again, this isn't, we're talking about the few and far between that we keep popping up with, but the few and far between that are this way.
Yeah.
Right? Because obviously not all of the OSR players think this.
Yeah, obviously.
That can't, I won't, right?
Obviously.
I can't believe
and
that.
I won't say that either.
No one would ever think that. This is just
but man, it seems to be a fucking common thread with the people that do reviews for them, man.
Right, exactly.
Really weird.
I feel like I'm listening to Garibay having an ADHD moment. I don't know. This is the thing.
I don't either.
It's fucking insane, whatever this is.
It really is.
To withdraw back to the town or civilization to rest, heal, purchase supplies, and so forth. This also allows for roleplay with no combat NPCs, and for the DM to introduce additional plot elements into the story with greater frequency. Now, with 4E, at will and healing surges, players can enter the dungeon and keep going and going, like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, he just doesn't understand how they work. That's just it. That's crazy. Wow.
Well, I mean, they're also just not making the connection. It's like, oh yeah, this is just spending a hit die.
I know. It's just crazy. It's wow.
Yeah.
It's because he thinks that they're limitless. Where we've already thought, we've already remembered, and I looked it up. It's not limitless. It is only as much as you have for your healing surges, and then you're fucking done for the day.
Yeah.
You need a fucking rest.
And then when you rest, you don't just instantly get them all back. You get some. You get to roll your hit die.
That's right.
Your class's hit die to see how many you get back.
That is true. You're right.
And you might get fucked up because, if you're a wizard, you might only have a D4. Because that's just because that is the bog standard for wizards.
Yeah.
If players never have to retreat back to town.
Well, I think now it's 6. I think now we're at 6.
Yeah. Sorry, in the older editions, it was.
Older editions. Yeah.
The game becomes one miniature slugfest after the next. Further, players really are challenged to think for themselves. Yeah. That's not to say they can't. But here's the thing that I want you to consider. And this is human nature. Now, characters are totally crunchy. And by that, I mean that even a first-level character is just stuffed with abilities, skills, feats.
No, he's not. No, they're not.
No, they're not. And also, if you really, just fucking look at the monsters, too. They also have as much as the players do at their level. That's just the way it is, because they're supposed to be matched. Now, whether or not the monster is matched to the player, that's another statement. That's always been a problem, right? We've always had overpowered monsters, unfortunately, in a lot of cases, or underpowered monsters, depending on the CR, right? Because the CR system is a little fucked. But that's not what we're talking about right now. Yeah. We're talking about player capacity versus monster capacity, which they are pretty equal. At least in terms of abilities, usually. If you get in too deep, you could probably get destroyed before you get a chance to do a healing surge. Exactly. Yes.
Indeed.
That's the whole thing.
You can't do it in combat.
Nope. Not unless you're a healer or a fighter.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's fucking it.
Yeah, that's it.
And powers.
Or you have a potion. Sorry. Potions also let you do it. I remember that now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you would need a potion, but that's a resource that's limited that you're already using to use your limited resource that you have. So,
yeah. So the whole issue with them being unlimited is patently false.
Exactly. Again, completely misremembered.
Yes.
It's crazy.
And, well, here's the thing. It's not really even misremembered, because don't forget, this came out when 5th edition wasn't even out yet.
True. That's true. Well, again, he did say that they tried for a few months, but I don't know. Let's be fair, and I will give him this benefit of the doubt. He might not have played for a while at this point, right? I'll give him that much. So, yeah. But regardless, that doesn't give you an excuse to falsely put this information when you don't remember it correctly and you haven't done the research to do it. So, I don't know if 4E used the CR system. I thought it did.
I don't remember, to be honest.
I will check. Very quickly. Where can I find this one? Any flip is nice. Okay. If I go to, let's go to, it makes book noises. Wow.
Oh.
All right, let me look. Let me put this in full screen. Is there a way that I'll just make the window bigger. There we go. Okay, they gave them levels. They were level 18, level 16. So it was a little more, I guess, accurate in that way, in a way. Kind of. Probably not. But it was a different way to do it. That's fine. I think you still need to use a healing surge to use a potion in 4E, but I'm not sure. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I think you are using the healing surge when you drink the potion. It's just an action to drink the potion is all. Pretty sure. I know what the name of the strongest monster is in D&D is, but I forget the name of it.
Tarrasque?
The Tarrasque, yes.
That's usually what people should go to, unless it's a god of some kind.
Right, exactly. But even then, the Tarrasque can usually beat them.
Yeah.
Players can spend endless hours crunching the numbers to get the best advantage, not only in the beginning, but having to really plan what they're going to do at later levels so they can qualify for prestige classes.
Yeah?
Why not?
You can do that in 3.5. What do you...
And you have feats that you need to go down feat trees for in 3.5. Yeah. What's your point?
Exactly. Prestige classes existed beforehand as well. Like, who are you appealing to?
And you remember how you needed to fucking be a druid and then a monk and then a fighter and then a hunter in order to be a fucking, like, bard? Remember that?
Oh, yeah, way back. Yeah, that's true. Is this supposed to be in reference to, like... Hold on, let me drag it back a bit, because he might be saying that this is something that you could do before?
I sure hope that's what it is, because that would actually be a sensible thing to say.
Yeah.
Players can spend endless hours crunching the numbers to get the best. Characters are totally crunchy. And by that, I mean that even a first-level character is just stuffed with abilities, skills, feats, and powers. Players can spend endless hours crunching the numbers to get the best advantage.
No, he's still talking about okay, he's just talking about in general. No, you could do that back in fucking first edition. What are you talking about?
You could min-max from the very beginning.
Yeah, it is a style of play. It's not something that was introduced in 4th edition. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, come on.
In 1E, it's the Iron Golem. Oh, there you go.
Oh, really?
I didn't know. You can't rely solely on CR, but it does provide a general idea of what party level is appropriate for fighting a monster. Yes. Yep.
Only in the beginning, but having to really plan what they're going to do at later levels so they can qualify for prestige classes. And why not? With healing surges, it's not like your character is actually faced with the prospect of death.
Shut up.
Oh my god.
4E didn't use prestige classes, it used prestige paths, which you get at level 10, and it adds to your character. It doesn't replace your class at all. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. It's even better than prestige classes, honestly, because I don't think prestige classes were very good anyway. I liked them, but I don't think they're great.
Yeah.
Paragon Lachey, maybe, for strongest monster. Don't know what that is.
Yeah.
When presented with any challenge, players will invariably suffer from what I like to refer to as heads down syndrome. The DM describes an encounter, and invariably, all the players' heads go down to look at their 3-page character sheets to see if they have something there that can solve the problem, rather than trying to puzzle it out through roleplay or DM interaction.
Brother,
What?
you realize that all that stuff could lead to roleplay and DM interaction?
Yeah, God forbid someone check their sheet to say, oh, hey, I do have a rope. Okay, I want to blah, 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 blah.
If you mean by just, like, looking at their powers, I suppose, in that case, well, again, could you not...
Even then,
yeah, could you
you're
not
learning
also
what
do
you
that?
can do in this situation. What the hell is the deal here?
Yeah, what's your issue, brother? And at level 20
This
you
is
get...
so disingenuous,
Oh,
man.
I know. Oh, absolutely. Again, it's the thing that we encounter where people just go off about this shit without knowing anything about it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. At level 20 you get an epic destiny.
Yes. Yes, you do. Those were cool.
Yeah. Using CR
One
for
of
how
them was, of course, like demigodhood. Which is
of
cool.
course, yeah. Using CR for how strong your party needs to be is how I originally thought it was really used for. It's fair. Yeah. Basically what it's supposed to be, but it's not. Not in practice.
Shit.
You know, it's fine in practice. It's not great in practice. We all know this, but we still persevere because we kind of go, it's a little gamey.
Yeah. And then we move on.
Yeah. That kind of play was the main way 3.5 was played as well. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That's what we were saying. This is everything he's describing is literally back throughout D&D. I would be like fucking surprised and call you a liar if you said that no one fucking optimized back in chainmail. Okay, because that was everything from then on was meat grindery until we got more roleplay heavy stuff, right?
Yeah,
like come on,
because back then it was just a war game. In fact,
exactly. Yeah,
it's literally the definition of a meat grinder game.
Yeah.
Yes, skill challenges. I'm looking at you.
Don't say skill. What? You're saying that skill challenges aren't a way to roleplay and interact with your DM. That's what you're saying? Really? Skill challenges?
What the fuck?
I suppose if we want to go raw and not put any creative freedom to it whatsoever.
Yeah, this is like the people who are like, okay, how do you I want to get a cheaper price. I roll haggle.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Okay, you get a cheaper price.
Which is, again, it's a way to play it. It's a way to play it. That's fine. But you can't just take out the human element of going,
and then pretend that's how the game is played by everybody.
Exactly. People will literally go, okay, so this is the skill challenge. Now, and to be fair, maybe not everybody did it this way, but this is the way that I like to do them, is the way of like, so this is your challenge here. You need to do this. What do you want to use as a skill in order to help accomplish this task? And then they go, I want to use athletics. And I go, how?
Yes.
Right? It's just simple questions that you can add to this situation to start that role play going. Because then they start thinking about how they actually have their character do these things. And that's the role play. Fuck!
Did he say that he DM'd?
Yes. I think so.
Dear God.
Either that or just played in general, but regardless, I don't believe him.
Yeah, same.
At this point, I don't know.
Yeah.
Was Chainmail the grandpa of D&D? Yes.
Yes.
He was the progenitor.
Yes.
What an elf is to a human, a Lachey is to an elf, and a Paragon Lachey is that to a Lachey. Of course, it comes from the Epic level handbook in 3.5, so that might be cheating. I actually have that in physical form.
That's cool.
I do like, I have that in deities and demigods, and I have...
Oh, you have that? Nice.
Yeah. I have that, the DMG,
kind of like
and the other thing.
A little bit of a special book, actually.
Deities and demigods?
Yeah, because there was a time when it was, what was it? It was banned.
Yeah, because of the,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I found a copy. It was back when I was in Maine. I was in a game shop and I was looking through their like old, kind of books that they had there, and I just saw the epic level handbook and deities and demigods, and I was like, oh, fuck
Nice.
yeah. I was like, I like 3.5 a lot. I'll take those.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I have them. Good stuff, man. Really good stuff.
Now, I've heard some younger players say that 4E is easier to learn and run than older editions of the game. And I would have to say to them, in what universe? Let's look at
this one.
Though in the universe where as the fucking game progresses, it is fucking streamlined and made easier to play for new players because that's a sound business decision.
Yeah. Also, have you looked at this fucking edition and you looked at like the text for this?
Have you looked at 3.5?
Yeah.
For fuck's sake,
like,
man.
If you look at 4E's fucking just formatting, it's already way easier to read than 3.5 was.
This is all. I'm sorry. This is starting to sound like an OSR boomer
I know.
who just does not understand the newfangled toys that
I know. I get it.
Millennials are playing.
I love 3.5 to death, but like,
same.
If you look at a page on in the player's handbook, it is a wall of text.
Yes.
And I can totally understand that being completely hard to read because of it. It was hard to read for me in the beginning.
Indeed, same.
But, I persevered and I read it because I wanted to, and that's just how it works. But with fucking 4E and especially 5E now, they're formatted in such a way that you look at these paragraphs and you're like, oh man, that's a wall of text, but it looks so nice.
Yeah, not to mention
approachable.
When it is paragraphed into sections, it's more easy to absorb.
Sure, yeah. And like they were paragraphed into sections before, but the formatting was like very uniform for everything, really.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed again like just walls of text, really.
Yes.
Anyway, most 4E DMs told players at the start of skill challenges what skills to use to get successes for the challenge. That's true. That is a thing that was in the book. You're right. So if again that's the case, yeah. And that's the fault of how skill challenges were written in the DMG. A lot of DMs took it too literally and misunderstood the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why it's turned into what it is now, because people actually understand it, and also they just kind of took it from 4E and put it into 5. / any other game that they want to. Because it's a good system.
Yes.
You just have to, not be so rigid with it.
Yeah.
I would ask if people still played Chainmail, but I have a feeling it might be the TTRPG version of a Commodore computer.
Oh no!
I'm sure somebody does. I'm sure. There are OSR versions of Chainmail, but I can't remember their names. There you go.
Combat effects, for example. During combat, you or a monster can become stunned, blooded, blinded, dazed, dominated, marked, slowed, and so forth.
Brother, statuses have always existed.
Yeah, many statuses have always existed.
So, don't. Just don't.
This is just don't, please.
Now, in a full-scale battle between, say, 4 player characters and 10 orcs, each of these effects can and frequently do come into play, especially blooded, which gives you a combat advantage.
Oh, no.
The duration of some effects will last a very long...
It doesn't always, mind you.
Yeah.
So, it's specific to, like, the monsters. And also you, I suppose. So, cool. Guess we'll just say that it just gives you an advantage.
Yeah, because,
That's
cool. We can't take the time to actually read it and learn and actually be,
Can't just have examples. We have to put forth this, this, to be fair, this thing that we've made in our minds of how it works, but at the same time, that's just as valid as me now just, like, it's not even as valid as me if I wanted to go over to the rulebook and read the condition and then go and find a monster that doesn't get like that kind of an advantage from it. But fuck it. You know what? I won't do that because you didn't do that, because you didn't care, so I don't give a shit. Again, this is just as good as you just saying it. I can just say something in response that's not, like, that's the opposite. And mine is probably more true. Just use Blades in the Dark clocks instead. Sounds like a plan. Yeah.
There we go.
Variable number of rounds for each creature or player. And while it might be relatively easy...
It's just other status effects lasted a certain amount of rounds on a die in the older editions as well. 3.5, I remember especially, there are many conditions where you would then roll like a D4 or a D6 or a D10 just to figure out how many rounds it affected them. Or how many minutes or hours even, right? Like they're...
Yeah.
Disingenuous.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
For a player to keep track of their own individual statuses, it's very labor-intensive for the DM to keep track of monsters. You need some type of record-keeping system, like a computer or some chits or something in play.
Or a piece of paper.
God. You might need a piece of paper or a chip or something.
And a pencil. Yeah, like...
God. To keep track of all of this. And this is...
how did you keep track of all the HP in before? Did you not write it down? Did you not, like, and is this just one other thing that you have to write down that lasts so-and-so rounds, and you can just do hash marks? Like, it's...
Like, the way I'm envisioning the way I do this would be, I would get a piece of colored paper. You know how you can get, like, green or red or whatever? You just cut those little pieces, you cut that into a bunch of pieces, and then you put them underneath your miniatures or whatever you're using. So that way, he's on fire, he gets a red piece of paper beneath him. And when it's gone, and we put a fucking number on it, and hell, if you have a red piece of paper and you cut them into little squares, you can have enough little squares to have a number for each one. You've got 4 1s, 4 2s, 4 3s, 4 4s. So that way, it's there for 4 rounds. Oh, well, he gets a red 4. Wow, what an easy and honestly kind of fun little system there.
Yeah, like, or you just fucking take your piece of paper that you've already wrote the HP down and you just write what fucking happened to it.
Yeah.
And you make sure to look at your piece of paper every fucking start of the combat round just to make sure. Like, it's...
Yeah.
That's how we did it. Yeah, there you go.
This is not hard.
Hopefully
complex calculations, my guy.
Dude, I know, right? You need a computer. One of those newfangled computers.
Yeah.
Hopefully people do still play chainmail for at least historical reasons. Oh, I assume, yeah.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if they didn't.
Yeah.
Than earlier editions of the game? Really?
Oh.
The only thing I have to say to that is bullocks. Is 4th edition a bad game?
You're not English, I'm sorry.
You're not English. Be quiet.
You even said bullocks.
Yeah, you didn't even say it right.
Bollocks, brother.
Yeah, it's bollocks.
Bollocks. Eesh.
Well, I mean, hey, if he wants to pretend to be English, I can too. This guy's a fucking twat.
There you go. Hey. Today you can buy labeled token sets for the conditions on Amazon that you can place under your miniatures. Yeah, I have a whole box of them, in fact.
Nice.
Yeah, they're nice.
Game? In my opinion, it's not. It's actually a pretty good miniatures game. And
your opinion's wrong,
you certainly can create an interesting campaign based on miniatures combat and have a great time. But 4th edition is not a great role-playing game.
There it is. It's not a great role-playing game. Of course not.
War game.
Of course not, because there's miniatures involved, and you can do pretty good combats, and you could have probably pretty good story that way if you really wanted to. But you can't role-play as well. You can't.
Yeah.
Because you don't die in a second, so you can't go back to town to get your supplies and stuff. No. And you can't do the rest thing in the town, and you can't. No. It's because you can't die every moment. Can't go outside, sniff a flower, and fucking die. He lies. Exactly. He's a liar. A liar.
A dishonest man.
How could you even fucking say that? You can run it as good at being... Sorry. You can make D&D 4E as good a role-playing game as D&D 3, as 2, as 1, as 5. It just depends on how you, as the DM, execute your story. And how you present these encounters and everything in it. It is up to you as the DM how good at role-playing you are in this system. Fucking nothing about it is preventing you from role-playing. In fact, it encourages you because it has a section, probably several, honestly, that dedicate themselves to how to roleplay.
Like every other edition before and since.
Like every other edition before and since.
That's what I said.
Exactly. Yes, and I'm saying it for emphasis.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know.
I'm sorry, it didn't sound as good when I said
like,
it. I know. Don't worry, you said it better. Oh, I saw a red dragon figure for play use that was 3 feet tall one time. Holy fuck.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's awesome. That's a big dragon.
So it's a fucking, oh my god, that's a fucking warlord titan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a fucking elder fucking dragon if I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's like a great worm dragon, actually.
Yeah, really. Absolutely.
Or worm, however you pronounce that.
Worm version.
Is it worm? Okay.
Yeah, it works.
Though it has the logo and the D&D tropes that are hidden in there, it's not Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It's not
Dungeons and Dragons.
It's not Dungeons and Dragons. You are the same as every single other person that says these things. Every single other person. My God, you just took a while to get there. You tried to confuse me, to make my brain go numb, so I just interpreted all this stuff as nonsense, gobbledygook that I would just take into my brain and keep there forever and go, No. No, you take a second, you listen to it, you fraud!
A bamboozler.
So massively crunchy that you need the computer to generate your character.
No, you
don't. Some out there who can do it from memory, but not me. When I DM'd it...
From memory? I couldn't make a character from memory in any edition.
Yeah, fuck off.
What the fuck? What?
What the fuck?
Why did you say that? Oh my god. Since when does D&D not is D&D not good at role playing 4E or otherwise? What the hell? Exactly. I know. That's the thing, right? It's not a good argument. It never is, because it's appealing to something that is not strictly controlled by the system. It is something that it has guidelines for it, absolutely. There are rules, in fact, in there for you to judge things by, but it is absolutely not strictly raw.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
And I had my subscriptions to D&D Insider, the 2 applications that Wizards of the Coast finally got around to doing, the Character Creator and the DM's Monster Creator, were indispensable.
Good for you.
I couldn't keep track of all the little rule complexities that were expected, and I can't imagine others do either. And let's not forget about how labor-intensive it is just to prepare something original if you're the DM.
That's...
Like I said.
Okay. You're
literally any RPG.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that, because guess what? Modules also exist, so just use a module if you're really having trouble.
Yeah.
It's just every single edition has them, so if you're having some trouble, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
No shame in it.
Yeah.
The 4E DMG was the first DMG to tell DM about various types of player styles and preferences. There you go.
Fuck's sake.
It's in fact making it even better to roleplay.
Yeah.
And people don't fucking do their research before they make these stupid videos.
Yep, that's really bad.
This is 8 years old, and it hasn't changed.
Nope. They didn't fucking edit the books or anything.
I know. It's so funny.
God.
You need that subscription to D&D Insider just for the characters and monster creators. And if
what a silly thing
3rd edition was largely unmodifiable, 4th edition is truly impossible to do so.
I'm sorry? 3rd was unmodifiable? What do you even mean by that?
Yeah, what the fuck does that even mean?
What are you talking about? Who are you? You
Where
don't exist, do you? I found a fake person, didn't I?
Yeah, I think we might have.
I don't believe you're real anymore.
What the fuck?
This video gets an F from me. Sorry, no worries. That is an accurate assessment.
Yeah, Christ, man.
With the 40th anniversary of the game coming in 2014, Wizards of the Coast has planned to release what is essentially the 5th edition of the game with D&D Next.
Oh, that's what it was called before. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I remember hearing that, like, as the thing of, like, D&D Next, and I was like, oh, that's neat. Didn't know anything at the time, but yeah.
Yeah.
These people also don't read the books, nor have truly played the game. It doesn't seem that way, no.
Yeah,
they might have said that they've read the books, but honestly, every time they do that and then they do these kinds of arguments, I'm like, you skimmed it.
Yeah, you skimmed it, and like we are able to point out, like just about instantly, fucking passages in the books, usually a single paragraph in.
Yeah.
To the section that they're referring to.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, my god.
There has been over a year of playtesting with players from all over the world contributing input to this new system.
It was pretty cool.
Wizards of the Coast task is monumental. The estrangement of players from official D&D will be difficult to overcome. There are those who like the current version of the game. This is their first exposure to D&D, and they have nothing to compare it to. And then there are the detractors who think 4th edition is a scar upon the legacy of Dungeons & Dragons.
So, like you?
And then there are the multitude of players who don't care for 4E and are just as happy playing Pathfinder or some other third-party D&D clone. And
Heaven forbid.
Yeah.
Care little about Wizards of the Coast version of the game. And, folks, here's something to consider.
Dude, I'm sorry. I want you all to know there's still 4 minutes left.
Yeah, like, man.
I don't know where we're going now.
Yeah.
I'm on a fucking roller coaster, my dude. I have no idea.
It's fucking Mr. Bones' wild ride.
Yeah, and I want to get off.
But you can't.
I can't.
You're gonna die here. I love that shit, man.
Dungeons and Dragons was originally created by 2 men who had a passion for gaming.
Dude, don't say Gygax! Don't do it!
Are we seriously going
don't
here?
Do it!
Are you?
You're every trope of these people!
Yeah, you are literally. Oh my god, this sharpshooter is named Horus. What a motherfucker.
Oh, somebody kill him.
Yeah, so I'm gonna fucking, like, friendly fire this piece of shit into oblivion. Anyway, go on.
But, like, I can't. I can't believe it.
This is so cringe. Like, it's honestly...
It is cringe. I didn't
realize
cringe.
that boomers could be cringe.
Just,
like, legitimately cringe. But it is.
I just don't understand.
What the
fuck?
fuck?
What does it matter? You're gonna appeal to the original vision, I bet. Which I'm immediately like, the fucking times have changed, brother. You can still have your original vision. Your third-party things exist. You even talk about them. And they give you as much as you need for your original vision. It doesn't matter what fucking Gygax intended. It has gone so far beyond that, man.
Yeah.
So far. I'm sorry, but fucking death of the author applies.
Oh, absolutely. It does.
It just does in every fucking thing. Every fucking thing that's creative. I'm sorry. You can't do this.
Except for my stuff, and that'll remain pristine forever.
Right, exactly, right. Yes. God Gygax said it, so it must be true. Of course, yes. All hail.
Right. Fuck's sake.
I still don't like he keeps calling Pathfinder a clone of D&D. It's a popular sentiment, because Pathfinder First Edition
is a clone of D&D.
It was made under the open
gaming license.
Yes, the open gaming license, and it was very, very similar to 3.5. So Pathfinder 1E, I will allow it, but it is its own thing enough, right? That you can also say, nah, it's fine. But I'll allow it because it's fine if they call it a clone because it got its roots there. Sure.
Yeah.
Is this a Red Wizard of Gygax? I'm excited for these next few words. I'm really.
I'm not, man.
Fucking smother me in them, please.
Oh God.
And vivid imaginations. When they created the game, it was out of love, not with a motive for profit or personal gain.
Really?
But they sold it!
Fucking goddamn capitalist bullshit. If you do something with the intent to make money off of it, it cannot be good. It is impossible. And it will be a vapid nothing.
Oh my god.
You hear that, me?
Oh, I just...
Christ, man.
Oh my god. It's just like, where are we?
Man, I don't know.
Where am I? Please.
Please stop. I've had enough. Christ, man.
Oh, it broke me.
Usually you're a lot more pissed about this kind of stuff.
It's just always been here, you know? And it just keeps coming up and it just gets funnier. Oh, but this video is everything. It is not just one thing. It is everything we've encountered.
It really is. It's just a microcosm of this bullshit.
All wrapped up. And this was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was the first.
It's just funny. Oh, I don't even know about that, but...
you know what I mean.
I know. It's just funny. Oh. Well, Paizo did steal D&D through admittedly legal means. Steal, quote unquote. It's legal, so it's not stealing. The core Pathfinder 1E is D&D with a different name. It didn't become its own thing for a couple of years. Yeah, it's true. That's why I'm saying it's fine if they call it a clone.
Yeah.
I would admit that it's fair to call Pathfinder 1E a D&D clone, but I would still think it because but I still like it because it brought it some nice improvements. Yes.
Indeed.
He's a prior of Gygax, yes, apparently. Pathfinder 2E moved in a new direction, right? Yes.
Yes. It became like 4E.
Yeah.
Hilariously.
Yeah. There's D&D merchandise in the photo. Look at that hat. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Big bad money D&D. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Gygax and Arneson had no idea how big their game would become back in 74. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool, I knew Pathfinder did so too. Yeah. It is 2 stealing. No, not if they were allowed.
Yeah.
Literally, the open game license allows it.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose.
That's what the point of it.
It was to let people be able to create stuff, using it as a framework, effectively.
Yes, which they used it as a framework to make Pathfinder. Not stealing. It is cloning. Yeah. I'll give you that.
It is cloning, yes. But cloning isn't stealing.
It is not stealing. It is not against the law. It is not something that was unintentionally... it was not something that was taken without them, their knowledge, I suppose, in a way. Well, I guess technically without their knowledge, like they didn't know that Pathfinder would come to be, right? But they did willingly allow it to be able to be used to create other systems.
Oh, shit. Fuck, I'm dead. Shit.
Oh, I'm excited. I see a so. I'm excited. I'll let you type that out. I just want to hear more of this funny shit.
Yeah, and who is saying this?
This is Aaron, aka used to be Indigo.
Oh,
always a proponent for 4E. Excuse me. But I mean, if we want to call it stealing, then it's like, I don't know. I don't think that it's stealing. I really don't.
Well, here's another thing. If that is stealing, there are many other things that are stealing that are considered to be fine.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax certainly did not intend to innovate an entirely new form of entertainment. In some ways, the creation of D&D parallels the creation of the first Apple computer.
Okay, whoa.
By Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak.
What? Oh God, we're going to Steve Jobs. I can't pay attention to that right now.
It's such a shame that he died of ligma.
Paizo stealing 3.5 is why Wizards of the Coast used the GSL for 4E. No. The fact that they were successful with adapting 3.5 into Pathfinder, the fact that they were successful in cloning it into Pathfinder to become a competitor, a direct competitor with them, is why they did that, I would argue. It's not because it was stolen, it's because they didn't understand the consequences of their actions. Wizards of the Coast.
Not to mention, even if that did wind up happening, that still doesn't make it stealing.
No. Just because they implemented something else in order to stop people from doing such a thing doesn't mean that it is theft. Because they did create something else with it. It is a derivative of 3.5, but it does have its own original things in there. It is not just a one-for-one thing that they just took. They did add to it. It is still technically, if you want to go for it, it is not a copyright infringement, but it's fair use in a way, right? But not in the sense of fair use as it is now, right? As what that means. What I mean is, what I mean is, it is within the framework of what they set out to with the open game license, right? It's within that framework. It is legal, fair. Just being pedantic, so am I. Which is why I say you're wrong about the stealing thing. And, and I'm fine I'm absolutely fine to
a clash of the pedants.
I'm absolutely fine to agree to disagree in this point. It's not something that I would argue to my deathbed for. I'm certain on my position of it not being stealing on their end. And if you're certain on it being stealing at your end, then I'm totally fine with that. I can understand where you're coming from, but I don't agree with it, right? I remember Aiden said something on the lines of this limiting his creativity. Yeah, true. Anyway, I want to hear about Steve Jobs.
And how D&D parallels the creation of Apple computers.
Is that what he was? Oh my God! I'm so
that's
excited.
what. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Profit or personal gain. Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax certainly did not intend to innovate an entirely new form of entertainment.
Nope.
In some ways, the creation of D&D parallels the creation of the first Apple computer by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, two men innovating a new type of computer in the garage of their home simply out of the love for electronics and to put a computer on everyone's desk. That was their dream.
Sure.
Okay.
You could, yeah, there are parallels. They also sold.
Yeah, they also are now one of the
computer.
most profitable companies on the face of the planet. What the hell is the point here?
Yeah, just because you did it for passion doesn't mean that you can't make a profit from it.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
One theme I've tried to point out in this series of reviews was innovation. 1E, the first edition of the game, was innovative. Third edition of the game was innovative.
Yeah.
Fourth edition attempted to be innovative, but on many levels it fails because it deviates so much from the original source material.
What the fuck do you think innovation is?
You have nothing to back up your claim that you just made of it being like deviating. First off, you've just said it. That's over and over. Second off, exactly what you're saying. Yeah, if you innovate from it, then it will become something
new.
Different. Yeah, new, different, usually something better potentially. But the fact that you don't give it the time of day of literally the fucking monster templates, the use of the skill challenges that were implemented, the more broadening of how martial classes could then keep up with spellcasters because of powers. Let me think. What else can I cite, I suppose, off the top of my head?
Yeah, right off the top of your fucking head. You don't even need to look at the book for this.
Right, I haven't even looked at the book recently for this. I'm like, those are already things that are there that are things that seem to be beneficial to this. I would also argue that the introduction of healing surges was even something that's beneficial in general, because it is a resource of healing instead of it being just a never-ending spell of healing, in the sense of relying on the spell slots only of a cleric or something that could just continuously heal you as long as they had spell slots. But now it's introducing this element of you need to have healing surges in order to benefit from healing. Right? Like, that's already giving you more depth.
Yeah.
So what is the problem?
Boomeritis.
Apple equals D&D, I guess, but I never think of it like that. I mean, there are parallels for sure. In this instance of it being a passion project that they had no idea would become so big. Yeah, there are parallels to it, but who cares? It's cool as a success story, and it's cool as history. That's who cares, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of what 4E is. Or just in general, really. Like, it brought us to this point. That's something that we can appreciate and be thankful for.
Absolutely.
But other than that, I don't care. And I don't think anyone needs to.
Yeah.
We don't need to have a reverence, I suppose, is my best. Like, because again, I don't know, it's just, we're idolizing Gygax and mostly Gygax, honestly. Arneson is barely ever mentioned anymore.
Yeah, he's barely ever mentioned.
But we're idolizing Gygax to the degree of, like, always citing him, and it's like, dude, it doesn't matter what he had to say at this point at all.
Yeah, it
like,
really does not.
Just as any author of anything, I don't care what they have to say. I care about the work, right?
Yeah.
What I get from it, what can be interpreted from and what you can gain from it from citing the work itself, right? Like, that's what matters.
Yeah.
The open game license is equivalent to posting a recipe on the internet for other people to use. At that point, by definition, it can't be stolen. Yes. I'd say that 4E is more like D&D's Wargamer roots than any other edition after original D&D because of how it uses combat. I would agree with you. Yeah. I think that the presentation of it does give it that more of that quality, I would say. Yeah, did this guy really say much about 4E? No. Not really. Not
he's
not anything
a lot,
new.
But I mean,
except for the one thing. Except for the one thing that was new, that it was bad because it divided the community.
Yeah.
That was the new thing. That was fun.
Was it.
That's a new thing that I will never see again because this man originated it.
Yes.
And I don't believe that he's real. Where OD&D, original D&D, was based on 60s and 70s war games. 4E is based on 90s and aughts war games, which does include video game war games like Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's fine for it. He said, blah blah blah. 4E sucks. Blah blah blah. Gygax is God. Blah blah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty much.
But he did include Arneson, which is just
rare.
Yeah, rare. It's a thing to be treasured, really. Anyway,
to be unrecognizable and layers on too many levels of complexity in an attempt to create game balance when all we want to do is get together and have some fun.
Brother,
can we not have fun when the game is balanced?
When it has complexity, like,
yeah,
come on. What a
There are also a lot of unrealized goals with 4th edition. Anyone remember the D&D virtual tabletop?
Dude, okay. There were lots of goals. They didn't meet them. That bad is where I feel like this is going. And I'm like, immediately, I'm just like, this, dude, okay. Yep. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. Books, games, TV shows, etc. It's how something stands on its own as a work. That's all. Yes. It's the important thing about anything that's a creative venture. How does it stand up on its own? There are some things that rely on source material in the sense of, like, I can cite that the Marvel Cinematic Universe you need to have seen some things for some other things to make sense, but that's just the nature of the beast, because it is inherently the way that works, but it's also between movies and the continuity is supposed to be there, right? For it to all make sense. It doesn't anymore. They don't give a shit anymore.
It got too fucking big for its britches.
Well, so it's not even just that. It's also the fact that they just don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's too.
they don't care to make it make sense. They just care to keep getting people in the seats.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yep.
Because it wasn't. It's weird that was a thing that, like, I grew up with.
What,
you know?
Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird to think that.
It is.
And to watch it crumble and die.
Yep.
It's just
we'll
weird.
Get used to that.
I mean, yeah. What's the meme? How does it feel to watch everything you love burn?
Yeah.
Feels great. Fucking love that meme so much.
Feels like yesterday.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
4th edition fails to accomplish what its predecessors did with far less, which is to invoke a sense of wonder and spark the imagination with possibilities.
Brother, you can't just make that claim. There's nothing for you to base that off of. That is literally just feelings, and I could just say, well, it did, and then it's done. Brother, you're not real.
Instead, players worry about skill challenges, powers, feats, prestige classes, combat conditions, or some other in-game system rather than the story itself. Wizards of the Coast is owned by Hasbro, a corporation that expects a certain return on...
Evil Hasbro! Kill them! They should stop! Fucking hell, man.
Just like any corporation, it costs money to do stuff.
Man, I'm glad the sanctity of Uno is still there from Mattel. Damn.
Goddamn right.
God damn it. Just stop.
Yeah, just fucking...
There's 2 more minutes of this?
You've dug your own grave, and now you've proceeded to dig to China. Like, come on.
It's amazing. I'm loving this.
I'm not.
It's fair.
I'm getting annoyed at Darktide because I can't get this fucking achievement. This is hard. And all these fucking sharpshooters keep killing everything.
Backstory aside, the Marvel movies can still stand on their own as movies. Some. Yes.
Yeah, some.
Not all of them. A lot of them could have before, but not anymore.
Now that they, like, constantly are, like, relying on you knowing the shit from everything else.
Yep. They are literally just putting that stuff in there because you will recognize it because you read the comics. There's a lot of things like that in there now.
Yeah.
It's not anymore about making a story that works on its own. Remember Captain America?
Yeah.
Man, that was a good movie. Remember Iron Man, the first one? Man, that was a good movie.
Remember the Captain America from the fucking 80s? Was Red Brown?
Yeah.
Wait, was it Red Brown?
Yeah, he did one at one. I don't know if that was the 80s. I think it was.
Yeah, no. It was.
Yeah.
It was. It
was. Fucking
fucking great.
So dumb.
He didn't get to scream.
No, I know.
It's bullshit,
I wish,
man.
I wish.
The fuck is the point?
I know. Basically, it was Wizards of the Coast. Here's the thing we made for anyone to use. Paizo uses it. Wizards of the Coast surprise Pikachu face. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. For me, it took Lucas 15 years to burn Star Wars. You got it worse. It took Disney a year to burn down the MCU after Endgame. Oh, Endgame wasn't good. Don't get me don't play. It's not a good movie. It feels great. Oh, it's so satisfying emotionally. A lot of payoffs that are great. Endgame itself is a mess.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see it. I only ever saw the first Avengers movie.
Good one.
Good.
Which I enjoyed.
Which I enjoyed.
Yeah, very good movie. Yeah, it again, emotionally satisfying, not great in the plot scheme.
Shame.
Not great. But I never wanted to see Darth Vader standing next to Mickey Mouse. Ugh. Well,
Why not?
We're going to burn the galaxy. Just, oh my god. Okay, Mickey, I knew you would, but like, oh my god.
Yeah. I am inevitable.
Investments from its shareholders, for its shareholders, I should say. It's a numbers game, and regardless of what Wizards of the Coast does here, they must design the next game with that in mind. Not because they love role-playing or Dungeons & Dragons. This next game is designed by a team looking at revenue projections, market saturation models, focus groups, and profit margins.
Brother, I mean, I know you're doing the doom and gloom thing, but like, if you look at the people that actually are behind 5e, they're pretty passionate.
Yeah,
You
they
can't
really
deny
are.
that.
If
You really
you
can't.
know, if anything, if someone who is thinking that this game is just nothing but, you know, blah 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 blah, you're the one without any passion.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the darkest timeline. Oh yeah. Oh, everything's going to shit.
Oh,
It's
it
great.
absolutely fucking is.
Yep.
No, there's no question about
Nope.
that bullshit.
Nope. Not at all.
Somewhere in all of that, a game that we all will want to play must emerge. That's a lot to expect. There's a lot riding on this new
Not
edition.
really, not
And
in
I
this
know
day and
I
age.
don't envy their task. However, Wizards of the Coast has one thing going for them. We're all rooting for them to succeed. D&D is a cultural icon, a major part of our lexicon, even if a person
No,
has
it's
never
not.
played a
It's
Dude,
not
it
a
wa-
major part of the lexicon. I
it-
agree with everything else.
Yeah, it wasn't until 5e came out.
Yeah.
Once 5e came out, then it kind of did become that. It kind of
I
is
don't know,
that
man.
now.
There are still plenty of fucking people that I'm like, you know, like when I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to go home and write. And they're like, oh, what do you write? Like, you know, so you know Dungeons and Dragons? And they're like, it's like they have the barest knowledge about it.
That's enough. That's already enough. It's
I
already,
suppose so.
as long as it is even just known.
Yeah, I suppose
That is it. So
but they're fucking normies, man.
I know, that's what 5e did. It brought it to
Yeah.
the normies.
God damn it.
That's what it did. That's what it is.
It's the normie. D and normie.
So like,
I hate
again,
that.
I absolutely agree with you now. Not then.
Yeah.
Not then.
Not when this was made.
No.
tabletop role-playing game before, they have probably played a computer game which uses D&D tropes like creating a character and advancing through experience.
Are you under the impression that D&D created character creation? Are you seriously under the impression that people didn't make characters in games before D&D?
I don't even know. Like, I'll give you the Final Fantasy thing of like they stole art from D&D back in the day, the first Final Fantasy. That was a thing, but that was the only thing that I can think of for that. At least character creation existed before, I assume, in chainmail.
Yeah.
And is it fair to call to cite that when that's the progenitor of D&D? Maybe not.
Probably not.
Maybe not.
I mean, from his point of view.
Yeah, definitely not from his point of view. But
yeah.
Nowadays, sure, we have a lot of things, a lot of RPGs that, and back then as well, we had a lot of RPGs that used the tropes. But I think the tropes came from,
You know,
if we're talking about
general fantasy
Yeah,
writing,
exactly.
are you trying to imply that dragons and fantasy and adventures didn't exist?
So,
Or weren't
I
written
guess-
about?
I guess it depends on if he continues with like specifically mechanical things like character creation. I don't know what else he could cite really, but character
there's
creation.
not really.
Yeah, character creation itself, I'm not entirely sure, because that might be predating chainmail. I'm not entirely sure, but
Yeah.
if we're talking about like how you create characters in RPGs in the sense of stats and such,
maybe. I mean, even then, it would still be chainmail.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I don't know. Honestly, it's not great as something that I would cite, because this is something that really requires research on your part if you really want me to believe you, I guess.
And no amount of research is going to make us believe you regardless. So,
well, if you show me actual fucking cited shit, I might actually give you a chance, but you don't do that in your video. You give me a Google fucking thing about how people search things in a nebulous time period. So, like, it's not a lot. And in fact, it's less helpful than it could have been.
Yeah.
Star Wars doesn't fit with Disney's theme. Totally unnecessary. I don't know, man. It's a big corporation at this point. It's got everything under it. It fits.
Yeah.
Well,
it owns everything. So fuck it.
If you want to talk about classic Disney, then sure, yeah. But it's not been that for a long time.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Stranger Things plus Critical Role. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
And Critical Role was way before Stranger Things. That was back in what? That was 2015, 2014, wasn't it?
Jesus Christ, was it?
Was it? Hold on. When did Critical Role go on the air? Maybe I'm thinking 2016, actually. I know 5e had come out.
Yeah. Obviously.
Critical Role start date. 2015, March 12th, 2015. I fucking knew it. Yeah.
Ow.
Critical Role has been going for since 5e was basically a thing. So like,
wow.
Yeah. Disney should have made the D&D movie so they could install a Dungeons and Dragons ride at Disney World. Those who have seen the 1983 cartoon would understand why. There you go. There's always been a cross-pollination between D&D and fantasy video and computer games. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, there has been. In general, in fantasy genre. Like, and everything, really.
Yeah.
So, I just...
Yeah.
World of Warcraft and EverQuest are the most obvious examples, but there are many more.
Good.
It would be nice if this new version of the game is successful and D&D does not fall into obscurity for future generations.
You really thought that it could have? You really thought that it could have fallen into D&D?
You fucking thought.
That's crazy, man.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
What's the matter? Where are you? Where am I? Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
But one thing is for sure. Some version of the game will prevail, although it may no longer be called Dungeons and Dragons, which for me evokes a bit of sadness.
Hearing your voice and hearing you talk about all this shit has evoked sadness in me. Man,
that's amazing. It's really wow. It's just wow.
To me, this is like the epitome of that fucking clip from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
With the guy, I don't even know his name, is like, am I out of touch? No, it's the children.
Skinner, yeah, Principal Skinner.
Yeah.
Am I out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
Yes, that.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's just I understand having nostalgia, having a lot of, love for a thing.
Yes. And intellectual property.
Indeed. We've all been there. It's fine. It is a thing. It is a part of life at this point, right? But to this, for the fact that it would live on in Pathfinder, if Pathfinder had been the successor and taken over it, right? If it had lived on through that, and it made you sad that D&D was gone, well, you've already called Pathfinder a 3.75 or a clone. Yeah. So really, what's your problem?
Yeah, what's the issue?
Just the name?
Just the name.
Right? That's where I'm like, it's like, oh, okay, so the name's gone, so it's sad.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Sure.
Guess that's all that matters is just the name. Huh?
Yeah, that's honestly, that's what it feels like in general, right? Where it's like, come on, dude, really?
Yes.
That's what this video really has felt like in its totality, really, because he's lamenting the fact that we've been divided because of 4th edition, and everybody's going off to this, that, and the other thing, and D&D
I'm gonna
is
miss
left
I'm gonna miss everybody.
Yeah, and I'm like, D&D is still there. It's right over there. You can still play it. It's not like it didn't exist. It's not like it stopped existing.
Yeah, it didn't stop existing, and even if it did, just play the older versions of the game that you still like.
Exactly.
You absolute baboon.
Amazing. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
I forget which year.
Not in a good way.
No, I forget which year, but Disney had a hand in like 9 of the top 10 biggest money-making movies list. That's overboard to me. Sorry, it's my venting time. Oh, don't worry, you're fine.
Oh yeah, no, fuck Disney, man.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, Disney as a corporation is shit. Don't.
Yeah, no, dude. Like, if I could go back in time, I would kill the lawyer who, came up with the whole copyright thing being 100 years.
Oh my god, yeah.
I would murder that man in his sleep. Actually, no, I wouldn't do it in his sleep. Yeah. It wouldn't be in his sleep.
It's yeah, no, you're absolutely don't worry. There's no love lost here. No, not at all. I appreciate old Disney stuff. I appreciate some of the newer stuff from Pixar.
Yes.
Which is also under Disney, but it is at least separate enough that I can at least go, yeah. WALL-E is one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, it's fantastic. I love that movie. It holds up in every regard, really. It's not perfect, but it is damn good. But like, yeah, I don't have any love for the companies.
Yeah, no, we don't give a shit. I work for a grocery store. I don't give a shit about the grocery store's profits. Exactly. As long as I keep signing my paycheck, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, like, and fucking, I will be the first on the front lines to say Disney has done horrible shit. I talk about it all the time now, but fucking Mulan, the live action fucking Mulan remake, they fucking thanked concentration camps in their fucking credits. Never forget that.
Yeah.
Never forget that. Ever.
Fuck, man.
It's something that just is over fucking looked. Because the next thing came out. It's the next thing. Oh, get excited for the next thing. Well, what about the thing that they made before? What about how it stands and how it's going to just be lost because it's garbage? Nobody's going to remember this shit.
Or, the Lion King.
Or the fucking Lion King, exactly. Like, all of this garbage, right?
Yeah.
Fuck me. Anyway. That's that tangent. For a review of 4E, I don't remember anything he reviewed. This can be called an opinion hit piece, but it's not a review. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to play Dark Sun, which 4E has. Yeah, there you go. Inside Out is my favorite Pixar/Disney movie. Absolutely fair. A lot of people like that one. Enough. I didn't watch it. Dark Sun 4E is great. There you go. We have less than a minute. Here we go.
After all, this has been my hobby for over 30 years, and I've introduced it to my children, and I still play Dungeons & Dragons
I feel sorry for your children,
dear friends that I made in high school.
If you taught them how to play like you do.
And to me, something that has affected the lives of so many people so positively for so many years
good. Yeah.
Deserves to carry on.
It does, sure.
And it will, and it did.
That's about all I have for this edition of Retro RPG Reviews. My next video will be an in-depth look at the first edition AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide. Until next time, YouTube gamers, game on.
I'm sure that so fucking loud, I'm sorry. I forgot that I had the volume up to 200% more.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that was absolutely awful. You should be ashamed of that video, friend.
That is bad, and you should feel bad.
I hope you've improved from 8 years. God, I hope. I'm not gonna check in because I don't care. I don't unless you have another video that I look at and I go, oh, that's something interesting, and then you say something that's interesting in the video in the first few minutes.
He won't.
Probably not. Did Mickey become a red wizard? Mickey is the original red wizard. I'd be happy if Disney would sell Marvel and Star Wars to someone else. Oh, for sure. For sure, but it's over, dude. Don't ever consider that to be ever a thing that will ever happen.
Yeah.
No, there's no hope for that. Yeah.
A guy named Shrek 3 DVD.
That's great.
It's weird.
All right. So I had another one planned, but that one took fucking 3 hours, and I'm exhausted.
Yeah, that one was real bad.
It was gonna be a better one too, but that will have to wait for the next time we cover 4E.
All right.
It was gonna be a good time. I'm sure of it.
All right. Well.
So look forward to that the next time we cover 4E. But that being said, holy fuck. Let's read some comments. Yeah, because I need to wash this out of my brain. Like, I'd be happy if Hasbro sold D&D. Oh yeah, exactly, but they never will.
Yeah.
It'll no. Whatever. Anyway, I'm ready for the corpos. They're coming. They're doing it. We're already in Cyberpunk. Never forget. So let me pull up these comments here. Okay. So next week you owe some sanity back. Oh no. Sorry, the next time we cover 40, not next week. Did I say next week?
I hope so, not. Yeah.
Oh no, we're not gonna do that next week. No. No. Sorry. Don't mean to get your hopes up and or squander your brain. Squander? No. Anyway, you can tell my brain is fucking mashed potato scrambled eggs right now.
That sounds really good.
Dude, I know, I'm really hungry. Anyway. So, comments. This one from Timothy Martin on last week's episode. Testing. Can you read me? Lol. If so, hello, everyone. On the topic of Monster of the Week, it sounds pretty cool. Not sure if the videos we saw told me much about it, but I will look into it more later on. And I will work on that luchador character soon. The idea is too great not to. There's also an interesting question I've been thinking about that I wanted to bring to the table.
Oh.
Which video game could you go pro on if you really wanted to?
Oh, Jesus.
Contests and awards, the whole 9 yards. For me, any pro wrestling game would be my best shot. Well, that's all I got. Have a nice day.
Not me. Nothing.
So, pro. Professional.
Yeah, to make money, probably nothing. Well, okay, you know what? That's a lie. Maybe if I had more practice in it, like if I started practicing again, Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
I was really good at Left 4 Dead, and that's why I'm actually quite good at Dark Tide.
Yeah, very similar.
I've got a lot. Basically, I have every single achievement in Left 4 Dead 2, other than the ones that they added for the massive update that it got like 7 years after the fact.
That's right, yeah.
And the one that's essentially impossible to get. Because there's an achievement where you have to go through an entire game of versus and win. And if you do that online, if even a single person on either your team or the enemy team leaves, you don't get the achievement.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Both parties have to stay for the entire duration, and you have to win.
Fuck. That sucks.
It's basically impossible.
Yeah.
But I got everything else.
Network connection, even. Just that would fuck you over. Jesus.
Yeah, if you got disconnected, yeah.
You can't control that shit.
Yep, it's bullshit.
Jeez. That sucks.
Yep.
I'm not great at it, but I guess if I really, 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 really dedicated myself, I might be good at Payday 2.
Yeah, if you actually like really tried.
Yeah, that's my game. I've got most everything for that. I still have quite a few things that I need to do for achievements, but I'm at what, like 92% now, 93% because they add achievements every time they put something out. I really, 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 really like that game a lot. It's one of my favorites.
Yes, it's very fun.
Yeah, it's a great game.
I can't wait for Payday 3.
Yeah, I really hope that it's even a fraction as good.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
I hope so.
Fucking
God,
rob Bitcoin.
So. That would be so funny.
God, I hope.
That would be so funny. Honestly, it would be really cool.
Yeah, it honestly would, because it'd be like a hacking one where you're trying to
you go and try to get their wallet
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's not a euphemism.
No.
It's actually what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that or I know the Spyro games pretty well, the first 3, so maybe one of those. Depends. I really, really like those games too.
No, don't you fucking... What the fuck? Why?
You have died.
No, they picked up a grimoire in a fucking Hazard 4 mission.
Hey man, they
the high intensity zone.
Hey,
what
man,
the fuck?
They really, really, really want that extra experience.
Oh, please get rid of it.
What games are Aiden pro at? Aiden was really like, from what I remember when we were playing it, he was really good at Titanfall 2.
Until it died to hackers.
Yeah. You can't be good at it anymore. It's fun. Well, you can do the third party thing, but it I haven't done it for a while, so.
Holy shit.
So Darktide's out now, but I want to keep playing Dwarf Fortress, and I also need to get Galarian in my brain. That's fair.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah, I haven't had any time for Darktide, and it makes me upset.
Do you want to play some after this?
Oh, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Oh, okay.
We're fucking having to work from 6 a.m. to fucking 3.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's my hours every time I go to work.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Ew.
So, hey man, it lets me do the show. Okay.
Oh, I know.
So it lets me do a lot of things, which is good. But like, I don't.
Yeah.
My body hates me, and I hate time. So really,
I bet
I
would too.
Yeah. So it's a wonder that I get through the days sometimes. Especially when I can't fucking sleep the night before. It's good times. I'm having a great life.
I bet you have a lot of headaches.
I actually don't have a lot of headaches. It's mostly my eyes that have pain. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I get a lot of headaches when I'm tired.
And
but then again, I kind of suffer from chronic headaches. So.
Oh yeah, there you go. And my limbs also feel very like full of pain when I get too tired. I'm dying. It's fine.
Yeah. Don't worry, we all are.
Yeah, slowly, inevitably. If I had the skill, I'd go all in on Age of Empires 4 to go pro on. Hell yeah, there you go.
Nice.
I'm bad at fucking those games.
Yeah, me too.
I'm good at turn-based, but I can't do real time.
Yeah, I'm always really bad at striking while the iron's hot. I'm very slow.
Same.
Because what I like to do is just a playstyle thing. I really enjoy fucking having like a big army clash with another big army.
Sure,
That's just more fun.
Absolutely.
To me.
I like taking my time. It's just how I do things.
Yeah. Remember how we were playing that 40K game? What was it called? Aegis?
Gladius.
Gladius, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, good times.
That was fun.
Yeah. Still haven't gotten too far in Dwarf Fortress though, because I keep destroying and recreating the world because of some minor thing I changed my mind about. Fair enough. Yeah. I've yet to get it myself, but I'm very excited to get it at some point and play it because it's like RimWorld, so I'm gonna have a great time. I know.
Oh, is it?
I mean, in
kind of sorta
in the most. I don't know how similar it is, but it's the same kind of like colony management kind of game, right? Where I really like those. Yeah. Resources and colony management is really fun to me.
Dude, could you imagine if they did one of those for 40K, but they was like, or not 40K,
yes.
if they did it for a Warhammer and it was just called Undercity. It was
Yes.
a Skaven Undercity that you had to do, and it was like batshit.
I would love it for so many properties, honestly. I wish I saw a lot more of those kinds of games. Go pro on Tetris if I really worked hard, or pinball games. Yeah, there you go. Sonic Spinball. Nice. Yeah. Sonic Spinball, man. Anyway, thank you for the comment. Next up, August on episode 126 are Garabay's 10 DM bullet points on historian and writer. You remember that?
Oh, how could I forget?
I like how he went full Garabay at the end of the second video, needing college degrees to run and play D&D, and insulting the audience by further needing to dumb down the material, which is streamlined enough for the public. Yes.
Yeah, like fucking hell, man.
The man is an enigma. Really.
He really is. He's paracausal.
That's right.
Like Aiden says.
That is true. That is true. New version of Dwarf Fortress come out recently. It released on Steam. Yes.
Yes.
It is. It has like dedicated graphics and stuff. You can actually like look at it and it not be like asterisks and ASCII font.
That's nice.
Yeah. That's what got a lot of people into it. And then Timothy Martin on session 8 of Devils and Dice.
Oh my god.
You're getting through there. Hell yeah. 2 points.
Fuck.
1. I would totally do what Mez is doing, taking any chance to go to the figure machines. Oh man, so long ago. I love those things.
Hell yeah.
2. All the horses Zeke has is really cool. It reminds me of Leroy's very large snake farm. It may have led to getting kicked out of many taverns in his time, but all that free venom is worth it. And he would plus the snake skins they shed is great offering to his patron god Dionysus, along with a fine bottle of wine, of course. But on the topic of cool figures, Leroy would most likely won't part with the coins. His time at the trading houses trained him to have an iron grip on his money sack. Brainstorm session over. Side note, started working on Leroy's Luchador right-hand man more soon, hopefully. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. Also has a more convenient UI, though you would have to relearn it if you're already used to the old one. Oh, I never played Dwarf Fortress. I always wanted to, but I never got to, so that's good to know. I'm glad it's more convenient. And then Lux with a very short comment.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, because this was on Monster of the Week last episode, and to be fair, I can't fault you for this at all. Says, when I opened the actual video and read the description, I saw that he considers D&D 5e to be the second best RPG. So that at least explains why his arguments kept focusing on his view that Monster of the Week was better than D&D. He's just treating it as a given that D&D 5e is better than every other RPG except for Monster of the Week, and those of us who don't agree with that assessment can just get fucked, I guess. The difficulty with trying to respond is that, as you said, D&D has that too, is the correct response to most of the points he tried to make. That doesn't really give me anything to work with. Even the points where that doesn't apply were still subjective at best. Everything I can say has already been said. So that's all I've got for this one. Almost not worth posting, but I'm not ready to end the world yet. Thank you, Lux.
Yes.
And you're right. I mean, to be fair, there was not a lot to work with on that, really. But it was an important thing to look over, because fuck me.
Indeed.
Just, again, Monster of the Week is cool.
It is.
You should go and check it out and try it.
Just
but
not for the reasons that he thought.
Yeah, not because it is the best RPG out there, but because it is a good RPG that is out there.
Indeed.
Right? Like, it's all you need. Anyway, unless I refresh and there's more to look at, that is the comments. So that's pretty good. I've never played Dwarf Fortress before. Just noticed a spike of videos lately on my YouTube feed. Oh yeah, that's because it just came out recently, or re-released this recently. So yeah, that's the comments. So I guess all that's left is for us to talk about these things that are money based, that are obviously evil because of it.
Oh yes,
right? Because we're not a corporation, but we're absolutely just not doing this for passion in the slightest.
Yeah, no.
Obviously not. I mean, come on.
Why would we do that? Who the fuck does that?
Have you met us? I mean, come the fuck on. First off, I would love to show you that over on our website, on the Support Us page, if you scroll down, are our custom dice. You can go over there. You can buy a set of dice. You can receive some sets of dice for $25 pop. And I'm probably gonna lower the price during New Year's. So look forward to that. You're gonna get a New Year's discount. Start of the new year. New price for a limited time. We'll get there though. We'll get there. Because to be honest, I don't give a shit if you give us money enough to break even. I just want people to get these dice because they're really cool.
That's not what it's about.
That's right. It's not about the money. We're not like Gygax. That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're pure souls, obviously.
That's right. So, yeah. Do look into that. Obviously, if you want to wait for the sale, absolutely fair. Less money to pay for good quality dice is absolutely a thing you should do. So, besides that, of course, we got to thank the patrons who helped us get to this point and allowed us to create these lovely dice, in fact, for you to have. Do the dice roll like normal dice? Yes. Yes, they do. Except there's one caveat.
Oh my god. Whew.
They roll slightly more to the right.
Oh.
Yep.
Interesting.
100% every time that you roll them. They will always, every time, without fail, and absolutely replicatable, will always roll to the right. Now,
okay.
Obviously, you won't be able to tell because it's the cosmic right.
Yeah.
You'll never know which way that is, though, because really, we're all just spinning in the universe at the moment.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
But other than that,
what a shame.
Great show, guys. I go to watch Boo's BioShock 2 videos. Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
It's good. It's a good game.
It is a good game. I love BioShock 2, actually.
Everybody hates BioShock 2, but
I don't know why. It's so good.
I don't know why either. It's good.
Yeah. Should rewatch Boo's Wario Land Shake It videos because those are the first ones I saw. Oh.
That game's fucking good too.
Be nostalgic. Wait, no, I need to stay focused on stuff I'm trying to do. Fair. Anyway, so thank you. Big thank you to Draco Kraken at tier 4. Thank you. Mog Zero at tier 4. Thank you. Rick, aka Unit Rico, at tier 4. Thank you. Slazer at tier 4. Thank you. Steely at tier 4. Thank you. Drake Cross at tier 3. Thank you. Chris at tier 2. Thank you. Frigid Fiend Lux. Oh. At tier 2. Thank you. Frozen Spaghetti at tier 2. Thank you as well. And last but not least, of course, thank you to our tier 1 contributor. If you would like, you can go in our description and go click the link to go to the Patreon. And if you want to donate as little as $1 a month, you absolutely can. And be shown here on the screen at the end of shows. So, do that if you want. If not, then I don't give a shit. You're fine.
Yeah.
And of course, other ways, you can go over to TeePublic and you can go and buy our logo on whatever you like. It's a pretty good site for things. I have a sweatshirt right over here that has the logo on it that's comfy, hugs my body, and a mug downstairs that I use for teas and coffees, and it's pretty nice. And there's a poster that I haven't put up yet because I don't have anything to put it up with yet. But it is also pretty nice. Got the logo on it and everything. So I can personally vouch for the quality of TeePublic, at least in those regards. But of course, if you don't want to buy it, that's totally fine too. Other than that, you can go over to Humble Bundle because we are partnered with Humble Bundle, and you can use our link in the description to support us through any purchase on the store, bundle, or store itself, or choice, whatever, as well as supporting Tabletop Alliance charity that is also in the description for you to check out. See how they do their charitable work. And let's see, what do we got here today? I haven't actually looked at the bundles as of recently because my card is still not in yet, so I can't buy anything. And it's giving me I need it.
Yeah.
There's a VR bundle with some After the Fall Doom VFR, though I hear that used to be bad. I don't know how it is anymore. Some other stuff, as well as some tactical games. Ooh, Mechanicus. Hey, nice. That's I love that game, actually. It's really good. Some other tactical games, as well as a RuneScape bundle. That's interesting.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that's strange to see.
Yeah.
Some other stuff for Unity and some other things here. Some content creation a bundle here. Oh, Vegas Pro 18. That's better. Actually, that's better than what I have right now. I have 17, I think.
I think I've got 10.
Hey, it all works.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, I might actually go get that. This is only $25 for that? Holy shit.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
That shit is always like $700.
It is, in fact, MSRP $249.
What the fuck?
That's crazy. I think that this is a great bundle, in fact, that I might get as soon as I get my card in, maybe. Potentially, we shall see.
If it's still there by the time your card comes in.
Right, exactly. I've been waiting for 7 to 10 business days. It hasn't reached the 10 yet, but it has reached past 7. I'm having a great time. I need bills to pay. I mean, I need to pay the bills is the correct way to say that. Anyway. Yeah, so go over there if you want. Humble Bundle is a great site. Other than that, we have done our due diligence for 4E yet again.
Yeah.
Oh, but the opposition, to be fair, has always been poor. Very, very poor. So
it's not exactly a staunch line of spears.
Not really. Not really. They seem to break against our shield wall. Quite easily, in fact. Barely an inconvenience.
Very easily.
So, thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you all for listening, watching in the future and the past, as well as the present. And we will see you next week for whatever it is we do. Yeah. Go on.
Yes,
Go on.
leave.
Go on.
You're distracting me. I'm getting
Have
shot.
Have a good night, guys. But I will kill Artorius Milliers. Get out of here.
That's a new one.
Get out of here, you. Get out of here. So if they just happen to roll left in the most unlikely of situations, those dice are broken in the chaos cosmic sense. That's true, yeah. Have a great night. Thank you.
Yes.
You guys have a good one.